only, the legend, the OG, Judith Polgar. Judith, welcome.
Hi, it's great to be here with you. Great atmosphere. I saw the last two pre-shows also, so you do a great job.
Oh, wow, that's so much pressure on us now.
A lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
Don't tell me it's only me who can ruin it.
All right, love it, guys. Okay, so now, Judith, there's been this amazing event that we're having, right? With all the 8 players down in Oslo. We haven't done that before. It's been super fun. And the results have been, well, some of them have been absolute shockers. And I think we have to start the show talking about, well, you guys know it, Praggnanandhaa. I mean, he's been sensational so far, wrapping up his matches in just 3 games. And I'm going to start with Judith here. Do you think that there is some kind of additional pressure the players are feeling when they face Pragg?
Well, the main problem is that he's extremely talented and good player. This is really irritating, especially that he's very young. And it's building up, right? When I was a commentator and also one of the main coach of the Challengers Chess Tour, he was there. And actually, this made him giving a ticket to the really elite online events for sure. And I saw him how he was just killing everybody. And it was just very clear that he had most of the things what a great chess player, champion, competitive athlete has to have. He has this very soft personality in some way, that he's very modest and he's just wants to play chess, that's all. And actually he does it very well. And you can see that his thoughts are always around chess, and he's not afraid of anybody. He just really focuses what's going on the board.
No, I think that you hit the nail on the spot with his attitude and just the way he is. And Sagar, wouldn't you agree that it's not just him winning these 2 big matches against Liem, against Jorden, but also the quality of play, just his confidence over the board. It's the kind of chess that we are seeing that's been outstanding, and not just the end result.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always wait for his interviews to see if he's going to say something which is more than, I didn't expect this today. And, he's always like, this is a surprise for me. But now we are getting used to it, like him beating these top players is no longer a novelty. He has been doing this quite consistently. So, it was amazing. Yesterday's match was too good. I mean, I wanted to talk about a few points, but we'll do that later.
Sure. No, please go on.
No, I mean, he won 2 games, right? So those were, of course, great. But there was this one moment in the game that ended in a draw, the second game, where Mamedyarov was white. So Pragg had won the first game, and he was repeating. Mamedyarov was giving check on A8, coming back, and Pragg could have just repeated, but he goes G6 and he plays on. And that just shows that he's not here to win the match. He's here to just give his best in every game. It's tremendous.
Interesting stuff. Lawrence, now the biggest burning question around Pragg is, do you think you can beat him with rook odds?
Good question. He's sensational, isn't he? I said it before round 1 that I thought he was going to dismantle. Who did he play in round 1? Sorry,
Jorden.
Who,
by the way, can I just please tell you about this, Judith? When this whole pre-show started, Lawrence gave this entire monologue on how much he loves Jorden. He's so beautiful and he wants to spend his life with him. He just wants to look at him. But every player who Jorden has played against, Jordan's going to lose this one. He's going to lose this one. There's been completely no consistency.
Well, no, just because Jorden is my favorite, somebody who I'm a fan of and want to win, because I think he plays very creative chess. I think he plays very interesting chess. As I said, I didn't like his first round pairing. He did okay yesterday. If I remember, he beat Eric, didn't he? Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
That's right.
And so he's kind of back on track. But talking of Praggnanandhaa, and just to follow up what Sagar said, declining the draw with black when you're 1 up, right? That shows where he's at, his confidence levels through. And there is nothing more dangerous than a young super talent who is riding high, who can't lose, who's beating everyone.
Yeah.
And that could very well continue. I mean, when is it going to stop? I mean, is it going to take Magnus to give him an old school lesson in order for this freight train to stop? Because he's just running through everybody. It's extraordinary.
And that's an interesting point. Where does this train stop? And that brings me to my next question, which actually someone in chat has put forward for us. It's KVK, and he's saying that yesterday the whole panel predicted that Pragg was going to lose to Shah. We all felt that's a very tough matchup and experience will prevail over youth. Then he pulled another decisive result in game 3. What is the possibility of him winning this tournament? Judith, can he do it, or is it still too early?
Well, with such a talent, of course, you never know where he's going to be flying. I remember in my early years when I was playing better at chess from day to day. And this is the case, really, what's happening with Pragg, I think. And of course, he's also extremely happy and pleased that he has this opportunity, not thinking about winning necessarily, but just to be here and playing with some of the really best players in the world. And every tournament where he's going to be playing such, not necessarily winning it, but being in the first half for sure, it means that he's craving really this spot for himself for a long time, because it shows from game to the game, not only by his play, but also his attitude, which is extremely important when we see someone, what kind of future he has, like avoiding the repetition. I think he's not even noticing it, it just comes so natural that he's focused on the position. If you remember back what Magnus was doing, he was doing exactly the same thing. And when you have to win a tournament or where you're having a lead, you don't make a draw and go home, because you simply love the game and you're passionate about the game. And all these small things, when he's going out and refusing a draw, immediate draw and victory kind of result, it means it's a sign to the opponents and the big shots. Hey guys, I'm there, I'm playing my best, and I'm not going to make draws just because it fits, it looks so good for everybody else. It's not good for me, because I'm here to improve, not to win, but to improve from game to game. And this can be very frightening to the very top players, that he's not scared. He's not going after the victory. He's really going after the quality and the improvement. And this is what is very frightening, I think, for the big guys. But here, I mean, of course, he's going to be having great, difficult matches, and not all the games were 100% perfect, but we are facing a rapid event, right? But of course, his mindset is very much there.
Yeah, very interesting. It sends out this massive signal that I'm fearless, regardless of who I'm playing against. And speaking of these amazing moments that we had from yesterday, I think the other big standout point was King D2 on Jordan's board. It honestly left, at least Peter and I were completely stunned. We had no idea. Is this a novelty? Is this a mouse slip? We were convinced it was a mouse slip. And Lawrence, it brings me back to what you mentioned yesterday, that how everything that we have known and believed in the past, because of these neural network chess engines and because of the developments in AI, everything's being questioned. And King D2 was one such moment in this very position. I also want to bring out Matthew Sadler's tweet that we had regarding this situation. And no surprises here that apparently this is a well-known engine chess idea. And we were just gobsmacked looking at this on the board. I want to ask you, and again, I want to start with Judith on this, that is this something that remains like a one-game wonder, or can we see these ideas reappearing on OTB classical chess as well?
I think this is the moment when actually yesterday I saw this game. I haven't have enough time to see all the games, but at least some of them. And I figured out there were some very important and very catchy, nice moments. This King D2 gave me the feeling that we have to talk about how chess is changing, because this is exactly the kind of move, I think, when we stop and we say, okay, now these days, preparation, timing, over the board. What is this? I mean, it's a hybrid event, right? I mean, they are having everything what should be in a normal tournament, only the board is missing because they are playing on a screen, right? So it's like over the board, over the screen. So it is. I had a very strange feeling because I understood that he was absolutely serious about it.
Yeah.
But I'm also pretty sure, and I see that more and more opening preparation is used in rapid, because this is something I would be surprised if it would be rapid, though I have to admit that 3G4 by, who played it in Vacanze?
Mamedyarov.
Mamedyarov
Played 3G4, or what was that? That was some
3G.
3G.
Some
3 or 4.
I don't know, some crazy thing. And I said, this is impossible. Chess is changing very dramatically. And this King D2, I mean, it was clear. I mean, he played it. He was confident about it. He won. It doesn't mean that it's good. But it's a very sportive element, I think.
I love that. I love that.
It shows that you work a lot. Sorry, that you work a lot with the engine.
Yeah.
Very deeply, and simply you don't want to lose anything. You just want to recycle everything, every information, every idea, because simply you play too many rapid and blitz and Armageddon and whatever kind of game. So very crazy ideas are showing up nowadays.
Absolutely. Lawrence, what was your first reaction seeing this on the board?
Well, two first reactions. One was that Jorden momentarily forgot what the Queen and King did. Because I think Queen D2 is a perfectly reasonable move in that position. The second thing is, and you're really going to hate me for this. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. I'm going to send you all a WhatsApp after this chat.
My God.
And I
Is
promise
this again
you,
about what's coming out next week?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this move is not unusual to me. Let me just put it like that. This is a move that happens nowadays in this particular position. It's funny, actually, because Matthew Sadler tweeted it, and I do remember seeing a computer game before this event started with this exact move. I can't remember if it was this exact position, but it was very, very close. It was some Marochi bind, and he just went King D2, King C2, King B1, and the King is better on B1. It's incredible. Yeah. That we can ask Matthew when he did that, but that was quite recent. And that's where we're at with chess. I mean, imagine, Judith, when you were that promising superstar, 13, 14 years old, and you're playing in the, I don't know, Bled Olympiad in 1990, whatever it was, and you suddenly, imagine you just played King D2. What would the reaction be?
Lawrence, I did play crazy moves myself.
That's true.
And I did get very interesting remarks. Like, I'm a coffee house player.
Yeah.
It went nuts. Okay, it can work once in a lifetime. I mean, there were really different reactions. Usually it was about, I was playing a lot of G4 and
like throwing your G pawn up.
Crazy sacrifices for initiative. And I see nowadays some of those kind of moves are played. And I think, oh my God, if I would play something like this, they would just knock me out of the tournament. I wouldn't get any invitation again to Linares or something if I would do something like that.
But Judith, that's the crazy thing, right? Because that's the kind of chess that you were playing, this aggressive chess, this unconventional chess at that time, which people were shocked seeing on the board. And now it's just become something normal. We see it all the time. These H4 ideas, these G4 ideas.
Absolutely. G4, H4 is like, if you don't play it, you're old fashioned.
I've got this image. I don't know. I'm just going back to something like Linares 99 or 2000 when Judith was playing it. And I would love just to see Gary's reaction with Judith playing King D2 against Gary and the big eyes, his eyes going like that. But this is beautiful. But I mean,
and his watch coming off. Let's not forget about the watch.
His watch comes off more or less at the start, right? That was his thing. That was him preparing for war. But it was the big eye. Remember when he made that blunder against Anand in 95? Was it 95 in the Intel? No, not 95. It was in the 90s.
It was Geneva when he played Queen E3 and Queen G4.
Yeah, Queen G, exactly. Yeah,
I was there playing.
You were there, yeah. The big eyes. That's what we're getting. But nowadays, I guess, these top players, be it, Eric or Jordan or whoever it may be. Not Eric or Jordan. I'm talking about everybody in this field. It's not really a surprise. It hasn't got the massive shock factor. I think it's got shock factor for other people, but these guys they work so much with the computers. They see these crazy new concepts all the time.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I show you one of the things that I come up, no, honest, I'm going to send
Okay, I'm
a
gonna. Lawrence,
screenshot.
Lawrence.
You won't believe some of the
Let's
stuff.
just stop now.
Okay.
But it also shows one of the biggest skills of Jordan, which is that he comes up with such ideas so often that he's not afraid to use it. Like generally people would store it for an important event or something like this. And clearly this is a very important event for him, not just the over the board chess. So I think the online events are becoming very important as well.
I think it's sorry.
No, go
I
on,
think it's
Judith,
also
please.
interesting, really. I mean, this was a switch in my mind that really we have a completely new face of sport of chess. That in the long time, I remember when I was a teenager, which was quite some decades ago, but even later on before I stopped playing chess, that when you had your novelties and you were still not showing it to anybody, hiding it from everybody, and there were novelties where people were waiting to be played for years.
Wow.
Nowadays, practically, I don't believe it that it exists something like that, because things are so fast.
Yeah.
So everything is happening on the way. So I'm pretty sure that there are many, many novelties like this are out there, but just while eating, looking, somebody tells it, and then it's just really, it's got to play it so fast. It's not something that you store it and then you really want to play it one day.
And I think that's the point, right? If you don't use it now, somebody will in the next tournament. So it needs to happen on the spot. And a really nice point made by Sagar there. These interesting ideas, I think Jordan is the one player we see it max with. One of the biggest reasons why he was part of the World Championship team as well with Magnus. And this is something the team Magnus has said so many times, that he was the guy coming up with all these creative ideas. Now, before we move forward, we do have a question specifically for Lawrence as well, but I'm going to throw this out to the panel. Lawrence has a dope background. Does he think the production of the tournament setup is cool? Because we've never seen anything like that in the chess world, right? Where the players are playing these esport cool, super fun backgrounds they have. What do you guys think of it?
Well, I think it's great. I think ultimately what the event is trying to market is that chess is the ultimate esport, or rather, let's call it the original esport, which is what it is. I mean, if you remember before all of the nowadays the very popular esports, the League of Legends and the Counter-Strikes and the list goes on, what game was being played online in 1999? Online. It was chess. It was, we were on the Internet Chess Club. Shout out to the Internet Chess Club, the original platform, and they're still going. But that's where pretty much all the top players were. I remember playing Magnus Carlsen on the Internet Chess Club when he was like 10, and he used to beat me so it was so hard. I mean, he was like 2,300 at the time. I used to play him a bit there. But the point is that with chess being the original esport and having the atmosphere and the feeling of an esport means that we can hopefully market it like that and get and grow in that direction, get more eyes on the sport, get more sponsorship, make it more marketable. I like it. I think it's a really nice hybrid.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's really, really, really nice. It also helps, by the way, avoid certain problems, such as cheating, which I hate to bring that up, but obviously when you just play online from your home, we've all read certain instances, even over the board chess, we've unfortunately, had to witness even well-known grandmasters, unfortunately, breaking the law. And in this format, the point is there's just no way really that players can do that. So the integrity of the game is also heightened. So there are many benefits to doing it like that.
I think it just looks so cool. I think just to play in this, it feels so futuristic. It feels as everything's moving online. Hybrid chess might be the future. I think it looks great. And maybe we can have another shot of the playing venue right now as it's being set up. This is currently the situation in Oslo. Looks absolutely stunning. All right. And speaking of all the players here, now, Judith, one of the conversations that we've been having, one of the narratives that we've been having in the pre-show has been Magnus's love-hate relationship with the World Championship matches. And now you're somebody who's commented on candidates, on the World Championship matches. Not just that, you yourself have played the cycle. And you have so much experience just how everything is. And I want your take on this whole situation that we have with Magnus not committing to playing the match just yet. And to put things into context, I want to bring up a tweet, which I think makes a really interesting point, and then we can hear it from Judith. And this is from Grandmaster Jakob Agard, and he says, sorry to be serious, I think FIDE should ask Magnus to sign or not sign before the candidates. The way he influences the tournaments by these statements is not fair. And I think this has such a valid point in it. You know, it has so many implications. What is the importance of the second place in the candidates? Who fights for it if Magnus doesn't play? Judith, what's your take on this entire situation? And should Magnus be asked that whether he will play the match or not before the candidates?
I don't see really a point for that, to be honest, because he can say whatever he says and does the opposite either way. He can say that I'm signing and there was no occasion before that you had to sign that you're going to be playing. What happens if whatever happens with him, or he signs and then he doesn't play? So what? I think, for example, for him saying all these things, the main idea is to keep himself motivated in one way or another. Like he says that he wants to be over 2900. I mean, he said it in the late night podcast also, which is a very nice podcast, actually. But he said it that, well, whatever happens, if he does it, he reaches, probably it's impossible, but it is something that pushes him forward to improve his chess. And I think this is great that he can find this, because this is the most difficult thing for him, I think, to motivate himself to see any reason why should he be fighting. And obviously a world championship match is not a piece of cake. We know it even by watching it, commentating it, looking the games, the sufferings, the incredible moments which they have to live through, the difficulties. Even from outside, I think everybody understands it, how challenging it is. And it's 1,000 times more challenging for them really being there. And I mean, how can you really make yourself hungry when everybody is feeding you, right? So you have to make something in order to be able to be hungry. And I think this is what he's doing it for himself, to keep his mind open to it and hungry for it.
Yes, but Sagar, I want to ask you on this, that keeping all these things in mind about self-motivation and keeping that push going, it's also, is it completely fair to everyone who's participating in the candidates to not really know what is the importance of finishing first? If candidates has always just been about winning the tournament, what is the future of the match? And yes, of course, Magnus could sign a paper today and then decide what he wants to do later on. But then it would have to be for very specific reasons and not because he chooses who he wants to play against. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think Magnus committing before the candidates that he would play would definitely make him more sure about his decisions. Of course, as Judith said, he can change it, but at least he has taken a step in that direction. But at the same time, for the participants of the candidates, I think it's clear, right? They want to win the tournament. Even if Magnus is there or not there, everyone is there to win. So in a way, how does Magnus playing a match or not playing a match impact the participants of the candidates? I'm not very clear on that.
I think where it impacts the participants is that if Magnus doesn't play, then who's the second player for the match? Is it the two players who finished first or second? Or is there going to be another match to decide the second player? Lawrence?
Yeah, I don't know. It would be kind of unprecedented, right? The last time somebody has failed to defend their crown, I believe, if my memory serves me right, is a certain Mr. Fischer. Has there been anybody else who has willfully not defended since Fischer? No, right?
No.
I don't think
I mean,
so.
Alekhine, but he was not, because he was not alive. So
Yeah, but I mean, since Fischer,
Yeah.
until
No, after no.
so it's a rare thing that I don't even know. Has there even been a regulation written for this? Probably not, right? There's just nothing on paper. So it's going to be, if he does decide not to defend, I'm sure FIDE will have to have a council meeting and decide.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, the most obvious logical proposal would be that the top two from the candidates fight it out, right?
Well,
or the winner of the candidates wins by default, simply, actually.
Judith, what
If
were
you
you
win the
saying?
candidates, you get a passage to the World Championship final. If the guy doesn't want to play, that tough cookie, that's unlucky. Now I'm world champion.
well,
Judith,
I
do you
think.
agree with that?
Well, I think if Magnus would not play the match, then it means that who wins the candidate,
wins
the
it.
world champion,
Interesting.
and then they are going to make a qualification to make a challenger. Maybe it wouldn't be so much time or whatever, but I mean, we had some strange things in chess history. 93, when Kasparov and Nigel Short went out of FIDE and playing the world championship match, and the official FIDE world championship was, I mean, officially there was, but the people, the world did not consider it that the best player is the world champion, right? I mean, I was playing in the knockout systems, and we had different champions like Ponomarov, Halifman, and so on. Also Kasimdzhanov. But then later on, it was a unification match with Kramnik, I think. But that's a long story. So there are some historically very interesting things, but I think it's too far to go that Magnus would not defend. It is something very painful to play the World Championship match because he feels that he cannot win so much. It's like he's gaining again the same title, right? After it, it feels good. But before it just, he should really do something for his mindset to be able to be hungry and go there and fight and prepare 2-3 months beforehand.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, because it's the process which he's never liked and enjoyed, and the pressure that comes along with it. Having established himself there, he just, Sagar, you mentioned this, doesn't want his identity to be about that match. But I think one of his biggest motivation comes from the fact that he can't imagine losing the title more than winning the match. It comes from this feeling that somebody else will be the world champion. And I think that might push the world champion to play it regardless of who wins the candidates. But for now, we've got to get back to the Champions Chess Tour, the Esports Oslo Cup. Let's bring on some predictions. We've got some very exciting matchups today. And I'm going to start with this one. Lawrence, your favorite, Jorden van Foreest, is taking on Jan-Krzysztof Duda. And we can see some very cool stats over there, as well as their personal head-to-head scores. I want to ask you guys, and chat as well, we're going to run polls simultaneously on chat. Do we see this going into playoffs? If not, who takes this one? Let's start with Sagar.
I think after Duda won against Anish yesterday, he would have a huge gain in confidence, because he was losing in several games yesterday, and after that he won in the tie breaks. So I have a feeling that Duda is the favorite here, and I don't think it will go into the tie breaks.
So Duda and 4. Judith, what do you say?
Well, I agree with Sagar. Sorry. I mean, I really respect Van Foreest for his creativity and really remarkable ideas, which I've heard from Giri and also from Magnus Camp, and seeing him playing incredible ideas. But I think Duda he's extremely calm. And the game he won, game 1, the playoff against Giri, that was amazing. That was catching the opportunity. So I would put my bet also on Duda.
Yeah, I think that Blitz game 1 with the white pieces is probably one of the best games we've seen in the tournament so far. Just absolutely flawless play. Lawrence, Chisha says Duda is getting my money on him. Would you agree with him?
Yeah, I would actually. I guess I've got I know what you're going to say. Oh, you wanted Jordan to win, and you've predicted that he's going to lose every match.
I'm just used to this now.
I don't know what to say. Look, actually, yesterday we did.
Are you ever going to actually root for Jordan? Let me.
Yeah, you got to root for the guy you want to win. I mean, look, I'm a big fan of Duda. Actually, I'm a big fan of both of them. This was the only pairing yesterday that I got spot on. Every other result I didn't. I said he was going to win in the tie breaks yesterday. Double check that. So I've got to go with my feeling for him, which is that he's going to carry on this momentum. And I tend to agree with Sagar as well. I don't think this reaches a playoff. I think we get a Duda 2.5, 1.5. Sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah,
2.5 wraps up in 3, yeah? Is what
sorry,
you're saying.
in
Oh.
4, what is it?
Okay, so Duda in 4 is what you're saying. So
Duda
you guys
in
are
4,
not
whatever that
expecting.
is. My
Well,
maths is
Chat
bad.
seems to agree. Jan-Krzysztof Duda 72%, Jordan 27%. I think it's gonna be an interesting one. I think Jordan really needed that win from Eric. He's definitely had a confidence boost. Duda as well, brilliant performance against Anish. Big action coming up. Let's bring up our next pairing. And we've got Shah against Eric. And I have to say, I think in this one also, at least on paper, despite Shah's performance yesterday, I would say we have a clear favorite. What about you? Let's start with Judith.
Well, I think it's not a question. It's very clear that Mamedyarov is the favorite, though he's a very creative player and he's going to be playing sharp, I think, every game. He can be maybe overconfident. Maybe he would also think that it is not the most difficult match, which is coming up in this event. But I'm sure Eric will pose quite some resistance. But unfortunately, I wouldn't bet on Eric this match.
Fair enough. Sagar, would you agree
Yes.
with that?
Yeah, I agree with Judith, and I think 4 games it should end in Shaq's favor.
It's definitely a tough one for Eric, no? Lawrence?
Yeah, gonna go with Shaq again. Tough Eric, yet to get going, 0 points, and yeah, a bit unlucky, but yeah, he's gonna struggle today, in my opinion. So
yeah,
I'm going with Shaq.
77% in a chat for Shaq. Pradi saying Judith is great in analysis, absolutely, and in fact, Judith, I think all of us, we can't wait to see you back at commentary soon, and you will tell us. I mean, we'd love to know what you're doing next. But before that, I want to just finish these predictions, and chat has a lot of questions for you. So let's quickly bring on the next one. And this is Quang Liem against Pragg. And guys, this is a big, big one, right? Liem also big on confidence after his win against Magnus. Pragg on fire in the tournament. Both players really looking forward to this fight. I mean, this is so close. Let's start with Judith on this one. Who would be your pick?
Well, I mean, Pragg, we talked about him, how great he is, but this one I will pick Lee. I will pick him because he's extremely good in time management. He's not the big fish, right? So it's like pretty balanced match between Pragg and him. I'm pretty sure that they both going to make a lot of risky stuff. And well, he won even yesterday against Magnus, right? Well, not exactly the way he planned it with Queen E4 stuff, but still. So I go for him.
But the last game was really nice, actually. I mean, the first game, of course, was very unfortunate, but game 3 was quite a big fight. And I think it was really nice to see the precision. What about you? What do you have to say to this one, Lawrence? Pragg or Liem?
I'm going to go with Pragg.
So it's going to be Liem then, I guess.
The reason being that I'm very much one of these guys that backs form players. And that I think momentum is huge in sports, in whatever the sport, not just chess. And when that momentum turns and you see it visibly turn and shift, then you can just not rub your hands over, but just like not be so confident. He's playing great chess. He's crushing players. He's winning tournaments. He's at the absolute peak. Yeah, I agree with Judith. Liem Quang is it's a weird opponent for Praggnanandhaa. He's not the best opponent at all for Praggnanandhaa, but I think he's just too in form. He's just. We need to see him. We need to see him come back down to earth. We need a Magnus to beat him 3-0 or something, and just ground him a little bit, because at the moment he's up here. Until that happens, I'm going with him. So
you're
Pragg's
going with
my
Pragg.
man.
All right.
Yeah.
Shreya says I choose Pragg because he's been on fire lately. Would you agree with that, Sagar? Are you expecting tie breaks? What's your take on this?
I think the overall score that I checked from the databases has been in favor of Liem against Pragg. But the one thing which I have felt is that Pragg is, adjusting himself really well. Like yesterday, game number 1 with Mamedyarov, when things were very complex, kind of position that Shah really enjoys, that's where Pragg outplayed him. And so today I feel like Pragg is the favorite here. Somehow he's just learning things very quickly, and maybe he'll come up with some really nice ideas with Liam as well. So my feeling is Pragg.
Pragg. All right.
Although
So this time,
I don't know if he'll do it in 3 games like he's been doing it.
I
until
know,
now.
right? That's been absolutely
Crazy.
phenomenal. Like 3 games, but it's still a tough pairing. So this time for experience versus youth, Sagar is going with youth. And finally, our last matchup, and
the
this
big
one
one.
is so full of meat. Let's bring this on. A very juicy one here with Anish Giri taking on Magnus Carlsen for so many reasons. This is just a super fun matchup. And let's start once again with Judith. Her take on this clash.
Well, probably there is so much fire and heat that it's great that there are 2 monitors in between them. I think they both really want to tear apart the other one. I don't know how Magnus handles his mouse slip and stuff in this event. And also, actually, I saw that yesterday Magnus was playing on another event before these games.
Yeah.
The
Solid.
Norway against Ukraine, right? So there was some tough moments for Magnus as well. To be honest, there was some hard moments. So I think Magnus is definitely not in his very best shape. So Giri has good chances today.
Yeah, I think yesterday we did see that he was also struggling a bit with his health, but I just feel that Magnus finds some sort of extra inner motivation when he's playing against Anish. Sagar, what do you think? You've been a big supporter of course, Anish. You've been rooting for him in every match. Are you going to continue doing the same in this one?
Yeah, I think here Magnus is the favorite in this match. Also, when Anish usually plays with Magnus in these formats, the online event, I have seen that their games are very interesting and exciting. I think Anish once sacrificed his queen against Magnus. Magnus has, of course, beaten him several times. But there have been times when Anish has been happy with a draw against Magnus, when he's repeated sometimes the position when he's better and stuff. So I feel if Anish is hungry enough today to beat Magnus, then he has good chances. Otherwise, Magnus is going to be the favorite here. Also, I saw that both of them are not in their best health. Like yesterday, Magnus was not feeling very well. Also, Anish looked a little down. So that could play a role. But yeah, very tough to choose. But tie breaks.
What's up?
Tie breaks.
Tie breaks, yeah.
Yes.
And who takes it in tie breaks? I'm going to push you on this.
I don't know. I think Magnus is the favorite in tie breaks somehow.
All right, Lawrence, Anish tweeting, unlock your potential. Who's going to unlock their potential today?
Yeah, I've got a weird feeling about this one. I'm going to go with Anish. I don't know why,
Anish.
but I'm looking at the sky and I'm seeing this green lights in the sky, and I'm getting signs from the Norse gods that today is not going to be Magnus's day. You're right.
Oh,
I saw him. He
wow.
didn't look so well. Something's wrong. And Anish actually has punished Magnus before. I remember even just at the World Rapid and Blitz.
Yeah.
Yes.
When Magnus was not feeling very well that day, Anish killed him. I don't know. I've got a weird. I would never normally go for
Anish,
this.
yeah?
I would normally go for Magnus in this spot. But
I'm
looking
surprised
up
that
at
you
the
say Anish,
Aurora Borealis here. And
So you're
I
saying the
see-
northern lights are going to light up the way for Anish today?
I think so.
All right. Well, chat is split down the middle with Magnus at 56%, Anish at 43%. I think this is definitely a close fight. Before we sign off, I think the most important poll for the Magnus versus Anish match, and just a quick answer from all of you. Out of the two, yes, they're fighting it out on the board. But who is the Twitter king? Judith, Magnus or Anish wins the Twitter battle?
Well, I think they pretty much dropped for being active. I think those battles are gone already, isn't it?
So is it Elon Musk then?
Elon Musk. He can play the tournament next time. I mean, he actually tweeted about chess, saying how simple. I mean, he simplified it. Do you remember? It was a.
Yeah.
We'll try and bring up that tweet one time. Yeah, but their Twitter battles have died down a little bit, huh? Yeah, they're getting old. What can we do?
Time to show all the things on the board.
Time to show all the things on the board, and that's the best cue to wrap this up, because we've got just about 5 minutes to lift off. Sagar, Judith, Lawrence, thank you so much. This was fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Tanya.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay, break time.
Hello. Welcome everyone back to Chess Base India. This is Sagar Shah. Arey, where am I? Am I here? Arey, where is my video? Here I am, guys. Welcome back to all of you. Today is a big day, and it is some fantastic matches that we have on cards. I need to show you guys what are the standings. That's an important thing that I need to show you. I also need to show you the pairings for the third round. So let me first do that. Let me show you the pairings for this. Let me also get my phone, because I can't see the chat somehow. So these are the pairings for today. Until then, I'll get my phone. Just a second. There we are, guys. Sorry for being away. I'm back, and today is the big day. We have many interesting games here that we are going to look at. Let me see what's happening in the playing hall. Ooh, there we have Anish on the screen. Let me get Anish on the screen today. Yes. How is he looking, guys? How is Anish? Because he's the only one who's there. He's looking happier, yeah, today. Smiling away. This is what I was saying. You know, he looked a little bit down in the last few days. Today he's looking in the mood. What do you think? Real Thug says Anish सबसे पहले आके बैठ जाता है. Devin Anand says Optiver represent. Yeah. And also, today we have Praggnanandhaa, who is playing Quang Liem. We just have Quang Liem joining in here. There we have Quang Liem in the hall. He's so calm, so cool, so composed, always relaxed. Yeah, people were saying, why do they wear headphones? Yeah, I'm not sure. Why do they wear it? Is it because to turn off the sound that's coming inside the room? I do not know about that. But guys, today our aim is to reach 900k once again. You know, I'm a very optimistic person. I know that on average we are getting 300 subscribers a day. Because yesterday we reached 899k, day before yesterday, then we got 350 subscribers, but we need 650 more. And you never know what may happen. We may have a great stream today. I might be commentating with a lot of energy and people will be like, oh my god, why didn't I subscribe to Chess Plays India before? So we'll see. We'll see if we're going to have a lot of subscribers today and can we reach 900k. But more important than that, we have some very interesting matchups. I'm very excited to see how Praggnanandhaa will do against Quang Liem, because Liem is definitely one of the tough opponents for Pragg, and also the match between Anish and Magnus is something to enjoy today. तो बहुत मजा आने वाला है. It's going to be great fun. Let me also make sure that the chat chess moves is ready. Ooh, is it not ready? Oh my god, forgot to get the chat chess moves ready. Guys, how are you doing? How's everything in your life? Let's beat Magnus to 2900. Let's make 900k before that, says Sachin Ranade. Oh, the games have started. Games have started. One second. Guys, एक second. Let me just pull everything together here. I don't want to miss a moment. All set. Everything is good. Let's get little Pragg on the screen. There we have Praggnanandhaa joining on the screen, and we have members. We have Jeevan George becoming the member. Thank you, Jeevan, for becoming backer of Indian chess. Mitul Shah says, Sagar bhai, same energy today, right? Arey, yes, Mitul, of course. Why not? So, Pragg playing with the black pieces. Game starts with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight to f3, d5, and g3. Guys, what's the name of this opening? I keep on asking you. Now you guys have all become experts, but still, I must ask you, what is the name of this opening? Yes, Catalan it is. Catalan by Vinayak Bhatt, Anurag Sanyal, Amit Roy, not Grunfeld. It is the Catalan. You can say reversed Grunfeld. Yes, could be. But it is the Catalan. And g3 was played. D takes c4. Pragg says, thank you so much for the pawn. I'm going to pick that up. So he takes on c4. Bishop g2. Knight to d7. Castles c6. Now, whenever c6 comes, I get scared. You know why? Because black is going to play b5 and he's going to say, I'm going to cling on to my extra pawn. So a4 is played to stop it. Now comes a5. The reason why a5 is played, because when you are going to come here and attack this pawn, I'm going to play my knight to b6 and defend it. We have Amu Prakash, who's become backer of Indian chess. Thank you so much, Amu Prakash. Let's also get Magnus Carlsen on the screen. Whoa, there we have Magnus looking so sharp today. You know, Magnus looks like this Game of Thrones ka character. You know, he looks amazing. And today he's come with this very nice look. Dekhte hai. But let's... Queen c2 was played and Liem said, Pragg, I need the pawn back. Will you give it to me? Pragg says, sorry, Liem. You need to take it away from me. I'm not going to give it to you. But guys, always when b5 is played, by the way, Pragg's time is 16 minutes. So he is well prepared here. And here, knight to e5 is the move which can get really nasty, because I'm looking at c6 two times. How do you defend that pawn? You have to take this knight. You take, pawn takes, and you put your knight in the center with knight to d5. And then after takes, this is the position that could become very, very interesting to look at, because knight to c3. Now I'm attacking the knight, also the pawn. And wow, Pragg has gone for something really dangerous with this move b5. And I'm very sure that Liem is going to play knight e5 either now, or he may take on b5, cb5 and then play knight e5, unleashing an attack here. बहुत मजा आने वाला है. This is going to be very interesting. Let's see how this game continues. Also, let's also look at the game between Magnus and Anish right now. Whoa, oh my god, they played this amazing line. Dekho, I'll tell you what is this line. I was young at some point. Now I'm 32 years, but I was 16, 17, and I used to open the game with d4. Amit Jain says you have brought back the charm back to chess. Nostalgic. Amit, thank you so much. So d4, e5, c4, queen's gambit, e6, knight c3, and then वो लोग triangle setup they used to take my opponents. ठीक है? So I would say I don't want to play e3 and block my bishop. I want to, ambitious young boy. So I want to play e4. Okay. People used to take, knight takes and give a check. Now I would play bishop d2. And then they would come and snatch this pawn. And I was like, what? Are you giving me a free bishop here? But no, they are taking this knight. So I would take, check. And now there are two main moves. One is bishop e2. The other one is knight e2. When you play bishop e2, you have to be careful about the g2 pawn falling. So Anish here plays knight e2. But knight e2 is less popular than bishop e2. Okay. Now, what happened? Okay, in one of these very interesting things, he goes knight d7. But when knight a6 is played, I want to ask the chat, what is the move that white should play in this position? Very classy move. Very classy move here. What is the move that white should play? Kishore Hasarika ji, hello, who's been the member for 11 months, pillar of Indian chess. He says, nice shirt, nice background as well. Reels are making nice things as well. Thank you, Kishore ji. Nice to see Kishore, who has supported so many times. He was Ambani member in Samay's channel. At that point, they were contributing 8,000 rupees a month. And Kishore ji had contributed that amount to ChessBase India, which we recently gave to young talent. So thank you so much, Kishore ji. No, look at this move. They go, your bishop is hanging. Okay, so you need to do something. Where to move? So normal people, look at Magnus. He's sleeping or what? What is Magnus? He's not well. Guys, 1 second. Magnus is not feeling well, or maybe he's just recollecting his moves, because after knight d7, he's gone queen d6. And I think Magnus is just recollecting his moves. No, I can't. I don't know. But okay, knight a6, the move that I was looking for. Let me see if people have got it right. Yes, queen d6. No. And the second move there. Arre, well done. Srijan Saha, Vishal Khombare, Aditya Purushothaman, Divyansh, Bibash, Shashwat, Bhumika, Raghav, Anurag, Chitransh. Guys, tremendous. The move here is the fascinating move, bishop f8. And you will be like, what? What is happening if I take the bishop? You know it, yes? You know it. Let's have at least 100 people give the right answer. Come on, you can do it. What's the winning move here? Bishop f8 is a move that attacks the g7 pawn. But if you take it, game over. Khatam. Khalas. Tata. Goodbye. Day is over. And let's see how many of you have answered. Whoa, we have... It's moving towards 100. Dhanay, Kush, Aditya, Kiran, Amit, Priyabrata, Srijan, Anurag, Divyansh, Achal. Well done. Queen d8 is a checkmate in the position. That's how crazy this position is. In 10 moves. Khatam. So, Here, all those who said queen d6, it's not a good idea, because once I take your bishop, this is the compensation you have. The compensation for a missing pawn is your dark squared bishop, because his dark squares are weak. You can't give it up. So either you move your bishop to c3 or you play it to f8. Okay, it's not like bishop f8 is winning move, because then you have moves like knight e7 here and black is still fighting on, the game goes on. Okay, but in the game, knight d7 was played and now the queen moves into d6. The queen is very nastily placed there. Queen is saying, if you come knight f6, ek move mein checkmate. I'm going to checkmate you in one move if you come knight f6. Okay, Magnus plays queen to e5 and Magnus says, Anish, do you want to exchange the queens? Let's exchange the queens. And you don't want to exchange queens as black. Can anyone tell me as white? You don't want to exchange queens as white. Can anyone tell me why? Magnus doesn't look, subscriber count has stopped. That's what people are saying. Okay, let me see if you guys have really subscribed. Whoa, okay, moving, dhire dhire towards 900k today. Let's see. Yes, he's pawned down. Exactly. All those who says Manaswi Garg, Kushan. Karan KK says, I don't know, man, just do it if you want. No, Karan. No, Karan. It's basically when you are behind in material, you shouldn't exchange pieces. White has one pawn less, so he should try to keep as many pieces on the board. So right now, it's not a good idea to trade, and I don't think Anish will exchange, but he is thinking for his move. It's already somehow, yes, he comes back, queen d2. He wants to keep. Death is invincible says, I feel bad for Magnus. He's not looking good. Yes, I also agree. He doesn't seem to be in the best of his health, but you know, Magnus, even not in his top health, is a dangerous opponent to face. So it's actually going to be a great match still. Let's go and check out what... Oh, look at this. Anish has long castled. So now the knight is unpinned. I just want to give you an idea of what is happening here, because I think Magnus is choosing a very risky line. Say, imagine you go c5. You want to block this bishop so that next move you can castle. I will drop my bishop back to c3. Then you say, I'll go back to c7. And now all of a sudden, in such a position, you know, here's a move. Like yesterday, you learned it from Mamedyarov. Let's see how many of you are going to play that move. Mamedyarov played a move against Praggnanandhaa. He just gave up a pawn because he wanted to open lines. Can you do it as well? Just give up a pawn. Just, you know, ऐसे अंदर से आना चाहिए. It should come from within. Isaac Coelho says, hi Sagar, greetings from Brazil and thanks for the live commentaries. Isaac, thank you so much. Isaac, what's the move here? Just give up a pawn to open lines, to unleash your bishops, to unleash your rooks. And the chat has got my drift and they are absolutely right. G4 is the move that I am looking for, because now with g5, I'm going to open up lines. I'm going to get my rook to g1 if you pick up the pawn. My bishop will come to g2 here. And that's the move. Ritankar Nath, Supercom, Hardik Sharma, Priyabirta Sinha, Akshay Agarwal, Abhinav Agarwal, Shaibi, Priyadarshini, Dhanay and Darshan. Well done, all of you. That is the correct move. So, that's why I think Magnus has chosen a very risky opening. He has, even after he castles, his king won't be safe because this bishop is the monster. Let's look at what happened in the game of Liem and Praggnanandhaa. Now, very surprisingly, Liem did not go knight e5. He played bishop g5 and Pragg was like, thank you so much. I anyway wanted to put my queen on b6. This is the square where the queen defends c6, defends b5, is coming out of the pin. Knight can then jump to d5. Everything looks great. Liem develops his knight to c3, putting pressure on this setup. But Pragg is like, there is no threat. You take here, my queen defends this pawn. I'm a pawn up. No, he didn't play queen a6. He played bishop b7 here. And I love it. I love how Praggnanandhaa is playing this position because he now has 3 of his pieces developed. He wants to play bishop e7 and then he will castle. Once black castles in this position without giving white any real compensation, black is a pawn up. So Praggnanandhaa right now has a good opening position, but of course it's too early to say. We are still moving ahead in the game, but I really like Praggnanandhaa's position. Okay. PS does it says just amazed to see 2 different postures. Anish so focused, kind of tensed, and Magnus so out of tension yet focused. I'm really excited for the endgame. I can tell you guys, Magnus Carlsen, even when he's like this, he's thinking, okay, what if I do castles? No, okay, I can't c5, bishop moves. Where should I move my queen? You know, he can think without a chessboard. So don't think that he is in some other world. He is thinking on his own. I mean, without seeing the board. Okay, let's quickly check what is up there after long castles. Magnus has not played his move and Anish has a 2-minute edge here. 2 minutes is quite a good amount of time. Akash Balaji says, Akshaj Balaji says sleeping for sure. No. Look at this. Now Magnus suddenly looks. He's getting, you know, once he gets a good position, you will suddenly see him coming back. Ajit Kumar Sahu says, why is it that when Magnus isn't playing well, it's all about his health? No, it's not about him not playing well. It's just the way he looks. You know, you can feel it that he's not, but even when Magnus is in his best health, he doesn't always look like smiling and cheerful. He's always this kind of very stoic personality. Like, yeah, I won. Sometimes he gets happy. Yeah, sometimes he's like, oh, yeah, I won it and stuff like that. But most of the times he's just very calm and relaxed. Okay, bishop goes back, hits the queen. Now, my point here is, if I move the queen away, we have seen that g4 or a move like queen g5 entering the zone is very risky. So there is a forcing move to clarify matters here. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see a forcing move for black, which Magnus might play, and he has played it? Did you see it? Asim Khan says, how is Amruta doing, Sagar bhai? Amruta is not feeling very well. So she's not able to join the commentary. Hopefully later, if she's feeling better, she may join, or else tomorrow. Tomorrow is Pragg versus Magnus, I think. So tomorrow, guys. Yes, knight e4. Exactly. Knight attacks the queen and the bishop. And that is what Magnus has played. Now, Magnus says to Anish, if you want to move your queen, move it. But if you move it, I will take your bishop. Then you are in trouble. So Anish is like, okay, can I take your queen? Magnus says, okay, but then I'll take your queen. If you take my rook, I will take your bishop. I'll be pawn up. Okay, but can I take the pawn here? But then I will attack your bishop. So if you take on d2, I take on g7. Now material equal, queen exchange. Okay, white may be slightly better after g3, but that's not a big thing. I think Magnus can hold this. So Anish is thinking now. He's like, do I have a sacrifice? A queen sacrifice. Guys, do you see it? White has perhaps a nasty queen sacrifice. Who can spot it? White to play. For all those who are joining in the commentary for the first time, this is a match format. So it's not only one game. The players will play each other 4 games today. The first to reach 2.5 points will be the winner. Pragg is leading the tournament with 6 points. Anish is at number 2 with 4 points. And then we have many players, including Magnus, on 3 points. Okay, fantastic. The chat is in full flow. Queen D7 is the correct move. Well done. Madhesh, Shaibi, Lokesh, Supercom, Srijan, Mahish, Divyansh, Kush, Neil and Rachita. So here, the move that we are looking for is queen takes d7. Now, you might say, isn't this just winning a full piece for white? Can Magnus make such a huge blunder? But Magnus says, there is a fork. Don't forget. So I will get at least a rook. And then, let's say you go knight g3 here to protect your rook. Oh, this has happened. No, this didn't happen. No, this didn't happen. He's played something different. So knight g3, and now let's imagine a situation where you take here, and let's say f6 and bishop c3. We need to take stock of this position, and we realize that black has 2 extra pawns. So we do this way: bishop for a bishop, rook for a rook. So here you have 1 rook for 2 knights and 2 pawns, which means black is materially doing pretty okay. In fact, just pure mathematically, he would even be a pawn up. But white's pieces are much better here because there are not many open lines. So I think white would be slightly better. But Anish Giri has chosen for not queen takes d7 here. He has in fact chosen for bishop e5, the line which we spoke about, takes rook g8. Did he take rook d2? Yes, he did. No, not yet. He's thinking. Guys, I think Anish will do this. He will take here, and then play this little move g3, and he will tell Magnus, your bishop cannot develop so easily, and so I will put bishop g2 and put pressure here. But generally such positions for Magnus it's not easy to trick him, because Magnus knows how to play these, and he will come up with some very fighting moves like knight e5, attacking c4, and then if Anish plays bishop g2, giving up another pawn, rook c2, the game will get very complicated with black being a pawn up again, but Anish might recover. So I think this game still has a lot of juice in it. It's not dull, it's not dead, but yeah, with the queens gone, I think Magnus might be starting to breathe a little easy, but I don't see him. Okay, I want to make Magnus full screen, at least for a second. Guys, can I do that? Look at him. I'm going to just take a second. He is... Okay, he looks fine. Yeah, he looks fine. Okay, takes, rook takes d2, rook g7 has been taken. And now g3, of course. And Magnus's expression is that we don't get much. Okay, knight e5, he plays it. Magnus just understands, I need to move my knight from there. That is an important move. He plays it. Now let's look at Anish here. What is Anish's expression like? Anish is like, I know that I have something here, but if I don't do something now, then my opponent is going to just equalize. If guys, they go, how important it is in chess, every move. If you play, you try to save this pawn with b3. Sad move. Bishop d7. And when you go bishop g2, bishop c6. Sorry, you lost all your advantage. So you can't get that time to play this move b3. This is what top players recognize. And that's the reason why Anish... Oh, he played b3. I think he should have played bishop g2 or something. Maybe something different. Maybe knight f4. Maybe knight c3. But b3 now bishop d7. I don't like this position. Let's go to Praggnanandhaa's game. What is happening there? Pragg. So after bishop b, people are laughing. Guys, don't laugh. Don't laugh at me. Anish did not play the best move. I think Magnus is going to play bd7 here and equalize. What is there to laugh? Sometimes top players don't play the best moves. It happens. But clearly, I mean, Anish sees it that bishop d7, bishop c6 is coming. I don't know what is on his mind. Manas Inamdar says, in my opinion, b3 is best. But how, Manas? After bd7, what's your plan? I'm coming bishop c6. How is it the best? Guys, I'm not just saying from my experience, I'm just showing you hard proof. Okay, anyway. Peter Cavano says f4. But Peter, if f4, even bishop c6, I'll first hit the rook. I won't move my knight. Okay, bishop b7 was played. Here, Liem went rook fd1. Pragg says, please move your bishop. Liem takes, knight to e5. Knight to e5 does not come with any real threat as of now because c6. What? They drew? Dekho, guys. Dekho. It was not the best decision. They drew. Magnus would be so happy right now. They just drew the game. They just drew the game. Oh my God. Come on. They could have played on. I mean, of course, I think Magnus could have done this, but he went knight f3, rook d3. Anish could have also maybe thought of rook d1, bd7, bishop g2, bishop c6, and black seems to be fine. So Anish actually, I think the move that could have been better is bishop g2 here and trying to fight for that little edge. But okay, Anish played it safe and Magnus has got a draw. Now going to Praggnanandhaa's game. So we were at knight f6, knight e5. Pragg says, no threat, I'm defending. Look at Pragg, yeah? He's just moving back and forth. Pragg is looking weird. Pragg, this is typical Pragg. When he was sitting on the chessboard, he would often be like, completely moving. b3, played in the position. Pragg takes, queen takes. And now because b5 is under pressure, he goes b4. While b4 looks like a great move, and it is a protected passer because now no pawn can stop it, you are giving up the c4 square for the opponent's knight. So Liem goes knight to e4, Pragg goes rook to d8, because I have a question for everyone in the chat. After castles, knight f6, bishop f6, why is this position bad for black? White to play, prove to me that you guys can see all the little moves in the position. Oof, so quick. Some of you are so quick. Some of you are like, what's the move? Sagar's asking a question. Super quick. Love it. Love the speed with which you are answering. And this square here, guys, is a massive fork that happens many times when the queen moves to b6. So always remember, that is a big fork there coming in. And great answer by Mahesh, Akshay, Madhesh, Vishal, Manas, Kritik, Shweta, Dhruv, Chayan and Tushar. Excellent job, all of you. Okay, going back. This is not what has happened. He played rook d8, taking control of that square. And now comes rook a to c1. Oh, so Liem says, I'm putting pressure on the c6 pawn. With my knight, with my rook, potentially my bishop, looking here. Yes, Pragg, you are a pawn up, but I have pressure on the position. Agreed, Liem, you have pressure on the position. But is it enough? Isn't your d4 pawn falling? Can I not just take this pawn? After take, queen takes, is black better? Or is white? Because after knight c6, bishop c6, rook c6, knight takes e4 is a free piece. So you have to intermediate. Take here. Bishop takes. Rook takes. And then I will just castle. And in this position, black is up a pawn. This is exactly the position that Pragg is aiming for. Castle kar lo, king is safe, pawn up, everything is great. So Liem has to prevent it. But look at what Pragg has done. Pragg has actually castled, which is a very, very human move. He wants to get out of the center with his king, and his position looks pretty good, pretty okay. Amit Jain says, please call VD Samay or Beast. It's good to see you all. Beast is in Menorca. I think that, where was that tournament? Menorca is in Spain. And Vidit is playing his tournament today. He qualified for this Rapid Chess Championship by chess.com. So he's playing there. And Samay, I think, is in for some show. So everyone's a little bit busy. So Castles has been played by Pragg, and the time is almost equal. Game has become exciting for sure. I think Pragg could have taken this pawn on d4, but it is always scary when your king is still in the center. So he castled, and now okay, let's see what he does. He takes, no, what did he play? Oh, did I miss some moves or what? Oh, I missed 2 moves. Okay, he took first. He took there and then he castled. Okay, got it. And now bishop takes c6 has been played. But here is a great move for Pragg. Will Pragg find it? See, natural move first comes ki let's take this. But if you take it, then I take on c6. I attack here. I attack here. You try to defend your bishop, but my knight is very solidly placed and I go e4 with the idea of d5. So the move that is very strong for black here, can you find it before Praggnanandhaa does? Black to play after bishop takes c6. What's the move? Guys, find it before Pragg. It's a very strong move. No, not rook d4. Rook d4 possible because you want to take rook d4, queen d4, bishop b7, queen e5. I get your point. Not a bad idea. Something better. Something slightly better. And you see, Pragg is thinking for this move. He is taking his time. He knows this is the critical moment. Look at his focus. Guys, learn from Pragg. All the youngsters out there who are watching this, just look at his focus. Pragg is like that gladiator inside the Colosseum who has, warriors coming at him, but he takes his time and chooses the right position and the right way to fight his rivals. It's something to learn from him. Very cool and calm, very collected. Let's see what you guys have come up with. f6, weakening the e6 square, guys. Don't do this in the name of chess. Free pawn here. We don't want to give it. Bishop f6 is the best move, and Praggnanandhaa has played it. All those who said bishop f6, you ought to be very proud of yourself. And these people who have said bishop f6 are Aditya, Chess is More Than Fun, Monil, Nihal, Dimitri, Priyansh, Shaibi, Radha, Varun, and Jode. Well done, all of you. Excellent answer. Okay, so bishop f6 has been played, and now Liem is taking his time because Liem realizes that although the material is now even, count the pawns, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even though the pawns are equal, what is happening is that black has the passed pawn here, protected by his other pawn. So knight d7. Ooh, fork. But Pragg has seen it. He gives a sacrifice. He gives the pawn, and now, he's given up his exchange. He's given up his rook. And now what is his plan? I think he's going to take the pawn on d4. With this, he's got now 1 pawn. He's attacking f2. So e3 has been played. Don't blunder. Guys, don't blunder. Do you see why this is a blunder? You don't move your bishop there. It is a horrible move here. I think people can see it very quickly. Let's see how quickly you are seeing it. Yes, we have Chess is More Than Fun. Ravi Deshpande, Sports with Anish, Chess D. Very quick, guys. These are Manas Inamdar, Madesh Kumar, Vaibhav Shreyas, Mrudul Rao, Aditya Shankar, Shaibi Binoj. Rook takes c3. I lose a piece. I can't take it. My queen is hanging. So I can't do it. But where is Pragg going to move his bishop? Pragg has moved first. Bishop d5. Arey yaar, Praggnanandhaa, what a move. He attacks the queen, asks it to move away. And now when the queen goes to d3, where do we go? Where do we now move our bishop? He attacks this bishop with the rook on c1 with his bishop. These two bishops, not to be underestimated. They are absolute monsters, and black has one bishop and a pawn for a rook, which is one pawn down technically, but it also depends on the position a lot. I think that this bishop is misplaced. And next move, Pragg wants to go queen b7, hitting this bishop, putting this bishop on h1 so that his queen can jump into g2 and mate the white king. That is what Praggnanandhaa wants to do. Now let's see. How does Liem respond? Pragg understands the dynamics of the position so well, no? Like we have been taught, bishop 3 pawns, rook 5 pawns. Don't exchange, don't make a bad exchange, don't give up your rook for a minor piece. But as you move on, as you go further into your journey of chess, material value becomes more fluid. Sometimes a rook is worse than a bishop. Sometimes a knight is stronger than a rook. Rook b1. Okay, now time to get your bishop back. Now, what Pragg did, very smart, huh? Very smart. He's like, this rook was an open file. I have pushed it back. And I'm really scared of this, first of all, queen b7 idea, hitting this bishop and here. And the other thing which I'm equally scared about is bishop a2, b3, b2. Okay, he goes bishop to b5. Liem wants to exchange the bishops here with bishop c4. Pragg goes queen b7. Pragg has seen his. He's threatening bishop e4. He's also threatening bishop f3. He's also threatening bishop h1. Rook to c1 has been played here by Liem. What is Pragg going to do next now? How about I go bishop h1? I think either you can start running with your king or you go queen f1 to protect the mate. We'll see what he chooses. But Liem is a brilliant defender. So Pragg is not going to have it easy. Liem is going to make his task super tough. And there you see Pragg thinking about his move. He is low on time. He's gone down to 1 minute on the clock. Time is going to play a massive role in this game. Also, Quang Liem has 1 minute 21 seconds. Rook d8 is an interesting move suggested by many so that there could be a discovered attack. But it's not forcing, guys. It's not forcing as such. He pushes his pawn to b3. I don't like this move, guys. The one reason why I don't like is after e4, which I think Liem will play. He will take and then take this pawn. And Pragg has lost one of the pride of his position, which was this passed b pawn. So actually b3 turns out to be a little bit hasty decision. But if Liem does not play e4, he plays it. Can we interpose b2? I think b2 is possible, but once you play b2, it allows a favorable liquidation for white. Queen, you take here, and let's say you take, and then this is around equal opposite colored bishops. This is drawish in nature. So Pragg says, I'm not interested. I'm taking your pawn on e4, takes, and now I'm threatening mate in 1. Oof. King starts to run. Bhago, let's run. King is running away. Now, is this... Oh, and the queen moves in. It's a check to the king. Where does the king go? King comes out to e2. Queen e4 check. King... Oh, they are agreeing to a draw. Is Pragg going to draw? I think so, yeah. There's nothing much. He's exchanged down. Somehow, he needed the bishop here and the queen ahead. ulta karna hai. Position has to be changed. The queen has to be ahead. I can't change the... Chess D says Pragg won't draw for sure. I have my doubts. 28 seconds. And also look at Praggnanandhaa. He's not able to see much here. I don't think he's able to see any other way to get... Yeah, check, king e2. And now you can't even take this pawn on h2 because rook h1 is a free piece. So yeah. Now is Liem going to get greedy and play king e1? No. He plays king e2, which is the right decision. Check. And draw, I guess most likely Pragg will agree to a draw. This is my understanding, but that would be a massive escape for Liem. Good escape for him because he was in a tough situation. Pragg going down to 16, 15, 14. He's putting all his energy. Can I see a move? Look at this guy. Look at this youngster. And he draws. And he's not happy. He's not happy. Look at him. He's like, where did I miss the... I had my chance. I should have taken my chance there with the water bottle in his hand. But a very, very thrilling finale. Last position. I think where Pragg could have pressed better was at this moment when he pushed b3. Instead of that, he could have played directly bishop h1, queen f1 and then b3, which would have given him much more chances of fighting for that full point because b2 is coming up next and he had excellent chances. So sometimes you just hurry, and with players like Liem who are excellent defenders, you are not able to get the full point. Guys, there are 3 more games that will be played today, so stay tuned. Also, Anish and Magnus will come back and play, but also make sure you subscribe and like this stream. We are aiming at 900k today. We have reached 899, 440, but not so okay. Not so far. Not so far. 560 more people. Litha Krishna Kumar says bishop f3 Sagar. I think Pragg was winning there. When, Litha? Do you think that in this position instead of b3 bishop f3 is better? Maybe not a bad idea. Or were you talking about b3 here, here, this position? And now bishop f3, because now after rook e1 there's no check and maybe it's not winning. Anurag Sanyal says in the end bishop g2, king g1. Interesting, very interesting, Anurag. Here he wants to come out and he wants to checkmate here, but there is a very nice defensive idea and I think chat can try to find it. What do you play here with white? White to play. Murli Krishnan says, wish you a speedy 900k Sagarji. Very few people. Yeah? You say, wish you a speedy recovery, wish you good health, all of that. But speedy 900k. Arjun Iyer says, I am 899 450th. Array, thank you, Arjun. Yes, I think there are 3 ways to save yourself from checkmate here, and all 3 are good. And I think the chat has found all 3 of them brilliant. I like bishop c6 because it's the best way to defend. It also attacks and defends like this. So well done, Piyush, Dhanai, Hardik, Aditya, Krishna, Akshay, Abhinav, Shaunak, Manoj and Amit. But also bishop f1 equally good, and also very good is f3. But maybe f3 slightly worse than the other 2, but bishop f1 and bishop c6 clearly doing the job. Let's have a look at one more game that is going on, which is Duda versus Van Foreest. Clearly winning for Van Foreest here. Let's get them on the screen. Sorry, for Duda here. Clearly winning for Duda. So nothing much here, but also Eric Hansen is playing Mamedyarov. So also let's get them on the board. This is exciting. Eric Hansen is better. Eric Hansen is attacking the rook here of Mamedyarov, and if Mamedyarov saves the rook, then after queen to c3, black pieces are tremendously active. Wow. Does that mean Eric Hansen will be able to beat? Oh, e4, push karo, khush raho, rook b2 then can come. It's winning. It's totally winning. He pushes e4. Look at this. Eric Hansen about to beat Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Wow, that would be big result. Rook d5, rook d5. Okay, can we go rook b2? Rook b2, maybe queen d1, and then the threat of rook d8 is nasty. How to continue? I think king queen c3 is a brilliant move, but bishop h6 played by Eric. He wants to maybe keep an eye on the e3 square. Anurag Sanyal, thank you for becoming backer of Indian chess. Oh, he sacrifices an exchange. Gf5, queen to d1. And now what? King h1. Okay. Yeah, Duda won the game. Okay, that's good news. But let's see if Eric is able to convert this, because whenever you're playing against these big guys like Mamedyarov and all, there are always nerves. And oh, there's a check here, but you don't lose the rook because bishop g7 blocks the check and also defends the rook. So bishop b5, Mamedyarov fighting for his life here. Somehow if the knight moves away, rook c1 can come, but okay, bishop g7 has been played, the bishop goes back. What Eric would love to do is put his queen up here and the bishop behind it, threatening a mate in this diagonal, but okay, patience, dear friends, patience. Knight to c1, okay. The main thing between good players converting a winning position and not so strong, not so elite players is that patience is sometimes lacking. And here, yes, very good move by Eric Hansen. He shows patience. When you show patience in winning positions, you more often than not convert because you trust your position. Like now, rook a1 is a massive threat here, and you can see Eric is in complete focus mode. Oh, what about check? Yeah, here. Can we go queen b6? Again, look at this. If you go queen b6, queen c8 check, and all of a sudden everything goes wrong. You don't want such things. Be patient. Be patient. Be calm. Don't hurry. Just breathe. How about rook c1? Stopping this check so that you can move your queen. This is what you need to learn, guys. If you always lose winning positions, this is the reason why that must be happening to you. So you're not careful enough. You're not patient enough. Queen e5 is a good move. Check, king h7. Bishop c4. Threatening a mate. Not a mate, but a check. How do we stop this? Oh. Take, check, here, check, here, check, here. Oh, he plays h5, which is okay. But look at this, guys. Look at this variation. Take, check. Okay. Now, king h1, check. King h2, check. g3 should be mate. King h1, check. Queen f2, here, check. King here, checkmate, coming in. Mate. So that was a possibility, but Eric goes for h5. Mamedyarov plays h4. He's trying to survive here. Shakhriyar Mamedyarov not giving up. Not giving up. Can you please recommend any chess books for intermediate in 1e4 opening? Please, thank you, Sagar bhai. BM Mukilan, there is something called Opening Encyclopedia, which is released recently by ChessBase 2022. Just got released like 5 days ago or so. And I believe that is a very interesting thing to look at for several openings. Many openings. King to g2. Now this king is not going to survive. You just try to coordinate your rook somehow. I know that you want to give a check. The bishop is controlling here. But let's take this. Let's take this guy. f4. Look at Mamedyarov. He's looking for all sorts of defenses in the position. Like, if there is something here, I will find it. Tushar Duari says here black win easily. You know, there is this in the books they always write, and the rest is matter of technique. Which means in chess, they give a winning position and then they say rest is easy. You know, don't worry, you will win it. But in the game, that rest is matter of technique is often the toughest part. How do we convert this? Can we get the rook here to swing over here? That would be very powerful. Yes, he finds it. Eric Hansen showing why he is a very strong grandmaster. He is right now completely in control, blocks the check. Mamedyarov, time to resign here. There is nothing, absolutely nothing that can be done. Oh, but you can maybe go back here, stopping a check. Just trying to irritate your opponent as much as you can. No, he resigns. Oh, he resigns the game, which means Eric Hansen beats Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. That is an upset here. And let's have a look at the standings now. What is the situation in the standings after the first game of the third round? We have two decisive games. Duda beating Jorden, Eric Hansen beating Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Anish, Giri and Magnus Carlsen drew their game. Praggnanandhaa and Quang Liem also have drawn their game. I want to also talk to you a bit about what's happening. Yeah, Mamed's bad run continues, says Prathamesh. Yeah, Siddharth Ranadu says no one gave Eric a chance. True, I agree with you. And I think he might pull off a big upset today. What was it that I wanted to share with you guys? I wanted to share with you guys some very interesting stuff that has just happened in the world of chess, which you all would be aware of. Maybe, maybe not. Let me see. Do you guys know what has just happened today? Let's see how. Shivam Gupta says, "Aapko Chess24 ki sponsorship mil gayi kya?" No, Shivam. It's just a joint stream. This is an event by Chess24, and generally in chess world, there is a logo of the people who are organizing the event. So this event is organized by Chess24. Gukesh 2660 says Ramdas Hadkar. Absolutely. Gukesh won Menorca Open. Gukesh beat Adiban. Yeah, that is what has happened. Actually, Gukesh in full fire mode right now. He has reached a rating of, look at this, 2680. This is Gukesh's rating right now. He's world number 80. And he is born in 2006, May 29th. So he is still a good 1 month away from turning 16. He's still 15 years old. He's reached 2660 and phenomenal performance at the Menorca Open by beating Adiban and Batsiashvili and many good players. Hyman, excellent. So that was Gukesh's performance. Very strong, 2700 plus performance by him. And this is one of the pictures from the event where he won 1600 euros. And here is what the closing ceremony. This was a picture sent by his parents there, his father. So that's what is the thing. Do you think increased viewership motivates players and is a contributing factor, says Sachin Ranade? I'm sure that the players definitely feel good when people are following their games. I don't know if that leads to good play. I think players like Gukesh, Praggnanandhaa, Nihal, Arjun, Raunak, all these they are self-motivated. So for them, chess is something what they want to improve independently. But I'm sure that somewhere where they see that, oh, so many people are watching, that does egg them on, you know, like it's a good feeling. It's a good thing to have. Prize money was less, Saurav, because the tournament was not so big. They played it because of the Olympiad team being selected on 1st of May. So that's the reason why they said, like, let's at least get to the highest rating and place ourselves in the best position that we can for the Olympiad. Yes, Sandeep Roy, Aryan Chopra is quietly putting up very decent results. I think Aryan Chopra has also crossed 2600. I will try to get him on one of the streams and interview him. He's playing really well. He finished second at La Roda as well, I think. And now here. Or maybe Fagerness. Yeah, he played Fagerness. Okay. Game is about to begin very shortly. Let's also get the players in there. And guys, in the chat, in the link in the description, we have a few things that you can look for if you are looking for a way to work on chess very seriously. I would recommend you Chessbase 16 and Mega Database. I use it all the time, and I use it basically throughout the day for all my analysis, for everything that I do. As you can see here, let me see if I can show you. So that is the first link in the description. Yeah, this one. See, it's always on. Oh, I was analyzing the game of Gukesh versus Adiban, which video I have posted a few minutes ago. So this is something that I would heartily recommend you. The next thing that you can check out is the second link in the description, which is a chessboard. If you are looking for chessboard and pieces, it's the second link. Chessbase India premium chess set, very good quality. And the third link in the description is chess course by Praful Zaveri. If you're looking for a very, very structured way to improve at chess from being a beginner, then that is the one for you. I have been recommending it for a long time, and I still think it is a wonderful way to improve your chess. Anish Giri is there. Super focused. He wants to beat Magnus today. Can he do it? He's the first one to arrive in the playing hall. The games will start in exactly 2 minutes. Vidit versus Jeffrey is coming up now. Oh, that is something we should look. Let me do it. Yeah, let me try to build another scene so that whenever we want, we can also say that's an important game. Yeah, Vidit today. Last time he lost to Grishchuk in the round of 8 itself, but today he might go on further. So we do want to check Vidit's games, right? So can I just try and see where I can yeah, let me put it up here. 1 second. So then whenever we want to switch, we can also switch to that. Mukunta Krishna says, your choice for Indian Olympiad men's team. Interesting question. I think for sure Anand, but I don't know if Anand will play this time. It could be that he may not play. We will have to see on May 1st. Then Vidit, Hari, for sure, with all their experience. Arjun, who is in tremendous form. And I would like to put Gukesh, Pragg and Nihal there, who are the three very young, talented players in the top team. But there is also SL Narayanan, who is excellent. But we will have them split up in team 1 and team 2, basically. So Raunak will also be there, and then we will have, I think it is going to be so much fun following the Olympiad. Maza hi aa jayega. Okay, Pragg is on his chair. Magnus is not on his chair. Liem is on his chair. So that is how things are. What is Praggnanandhaa's score? How many teams per federations are allowed? Siddharth, every federation gets one team, but in case of India being the host federation, they get two. And if there are odd number of teams, like let's say 167 teams, then the host will get 3 teams to even it out. English opening on the board c4, knight f6, knight to c3 has been played. Praggnanandhaa facing some issue there, calls the arbiter, but for what reason? I do not know. Pragg is like, okay, all good, all good. Let's begin with the game. Also, guys, let's subscribe and move towards 900k if you aren't subscribed yet. But aram se. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, d5. We have queen's gambit declined. Ragozin variation with bishop b4, queen a4 check, knight c6. Liem very well prepared. Pragg also well prepared. Queen to c2. Rook to e8 by Quang Liem. I think he's making room for his bishop to jump back to f8. Bishop to d2. Okay, and so after bishop d2, bishop f8 is played, bishop e2 is played. And if there is one piece in black's camp which is slightly misplaced, which one would that be, guys? That black would say, "Arey, I don't want that piece there." Which one would that be? Why not c5? Raj Anand says when the bishop is on b4. Good question. So you mean after rook e8, perhaps c5 here? It's an interesting move, but there is always the possibility to take here. So the bishop is never going to get trapped. Also, because the king is still in the center, black will open up the position with e5 and black is better. So that's the reason why c5 does not work concretely. Yes, everyone's talking that the bishop on c8 is the worst piece. I agree with you. Also, the knight on c6 is not so well placed because it is in way of the c pawn which wants to move ahead. So sooner or later, Liem will try to sort the problem of these two pieces. If he manages to do that, he will be he will be doing pretty well. b6, he's started off by trying to sort one of his pieces so that the bishop can move to b7. Okay. Let's look at what Anish Giri is up to. Anish Giri versus Magnus Carlsen. We have the English opening on the board. G3, D5, knight takes, bishop G2, and now bishop C5. This is becoming slowly one of the main moves in the position. Knight B6 is the main move that had been played before, but bishop C5, castles, D3, H6, knight takes D5, queen takes D5, bishop D2. Now, there can be a deadly discovered attack here with the bishop looking at the queen, but where is it? The knight can go here, but I can move the queen away. The knight can't take the pawn because queen will take it. So there is no good discovered attack. So bishop D2 was played, and now rook to D8. How much of this is preparation can be seen from our chess-based board, and this is something that can be very useful if you use here the live database from chessbase 16. D5 takes, just bringing up that position, bishop G2, bishop C5, castles, D3, H6, knight D5, queen D5. We have 30 games already. Bishop D2 has been played before by Savian, Artemiev, Esipenko, MVL, and the move that was played was rook D8. Also, Wang Hao Giri. See, guys, this is what really is helpful, because Giri has already played this position before against Wang Hao at the Danzhou online tournament, Rapid. And he continues. He has faith in what he has played. So Magnus now plays bishop to c3. And this is the move that Wang Hao also had played against Anish. And you can see Anish now thinking, because he has to be careful. You know, chess preparation is often a situation where you are on a field and there could be landmines or there could be bluff. You don't know. Either you walk confidently on that path saying that I know that there are no landmines here, I will just walk it and there will be no problems, or you just get blown away. So right now, Anish's move against Wang Hao, if we just look at this, was queen e6 in this position. He had gone queen e6, but he's hesitating a bit against Magnus because he doesn't want to fall into Magnus's preparation. Although it seems like Magnus might not be super well prepared, considering the fact that he has already taken 2 minutes. If he was well prepared, he would have blitzed out his moves, right? So plays queen e6, and now let's see, has Magnus lured Anish into something where he knows more than his opponent, or not really? I don't think so. Let's go to Praggnanandhaa's game, and as we see, after b6, Pragg took on d5, ed, castles, bishop b7, a3, knight e7. So, as we had discussed, the knight moves to a better square, the bishop has moved to a decent square, and your idea is to break in the center with c5. Maybe the knight can go to g6. Black's position looks okay. It's just the opening. Also, white is looking pretty good. I think Pragg might go b4, stopping c5. But these are the kinds of positions where the top player is able to outplay a weaker player. And that's because there is so much play. You know, there are so many pieces on the board. So a good player can outplay his weaker opponent. Pragg generally is able to hold his fort against these top guys. Magnus looks like he's not fully fit, says Sanket Agarwal. Yeah, that's what we have been discussing. We also think Magnus doesn't look in his best shape. Meanwhile, Magnus Carlsen, after Queen e6, Wang Hao had played knight d2. Magnus plays queen c2. Queen to e7, making way for the bishop to be developed. Rook to c1. Bishop b6, and this is the position on the board. Yashwant says, what about knight e5? Yashwant, I think you're talking about Praggnanandhaa's game. Knight e5, I think it's not a bad idea. First couple of moves that come to mind are c5 and knight g6. These two. But c5 is a big mistake. Can anyone tell me, who is a sharp guy here in the chat, to this old IM, why he is wrong after c5? What is the blunder that he has just made? White to play and win. Alok Raj, very quick. Raghav Pandey, Manav Desai, are. So many young talents here who are so quick. Just not letting me. Well done, all of you who said bishop b5. Alok, Raghav, Manav, Kishle, Akash, Siddhant, Kunal, Shubham, Dimitri and Mihir. Fantastic. The bishop move to b5 just loses an entire rook. I mean, not an entire, but an exchange. So I cannot block anything here. So that is not possible to play. That's the reason why maybe knight g6 makes a lot of sense. But Pragg here after knight e7 played bishop d3. Oh, he first played bishop b5. He provoked c6. Then he came back. Very interesting move. Because see, if he had played bishop d3 directly, then maybe he would have been afraid that the knight can come to e4. It's not possible because it's not defended. But maybe after knight g6, he thinks the knight can come to e4 with the control here, with the control like this. But when you provoke c6, you basically cut the bishop's influence on the e4 square. But of course, c5 will come in pretty soon. So knight g6 was played. And Pragg goes b4. Pragg is like, I won't let you go c5 now. I think Liem had to play c5 in this position. But he played knight g6 and after b4, Pragg seems to have a small edge. What about Anish versus Magnus? What is happening there? After queen to e7, look at Magnus, he's sleeping. He's sleeping. Rook a c1. Bishop b6, a3. Guys, seriously, he's sleeping. Anish is also sleeping. No, Anish is thinking. Sachin says, I think this time we should make our team consist of young talents more than Vidit, as it is central. as its center, because if we consider form, I think young players like Gukesh Arjun, Pragg are in more form than seniors. It's a very tough question to answer. And also, guys, remember that it is a completely different ball game when you face 2700 plus players regularly, and when you play, let's say, 2600 or 2620, 2630 players. When you play the top board at the Olympiad, you are going to face strong players from different countries. Like the US, you will have maybe Fabiano Caruana. From France, you will have Alireza Firouzja. From Azerbaijan, maybe Rajabov or Mamedyarov. And China, Ding Lijian. So all these players who are the best in the world, even when Anand used to play for India at the Olympiad, this was a huge benefit that India would get, that on the top board we could hold on. And I think when our youngsters play, they would be very good at board number 3, 2, 3, 4, maybe like that. But on the board 1, when we have our experienced guys, it can still be very useful. Queen e5. So there were some exchanges in the position. Let's have a look at it. This is becoming interesting. Anish played knight to d4, takes, pawn takes, bishop b4, queen e5, bishop c5. And the idea is that after take, to launch some kind of a minority attack. I'll show you how it's done. Take, c6, okay? And how do we start the minority attack? I want all of you in the chat, everyone who is very strong, to tell me, how does white begin with the minority attack here? White to play. Devashish Upadhyay says, just when Sagar Bhai became energized and got out of sleepy mode, Magnus started sleeping. Yes, let's look at how many of you have understood the concept of minority attack. Brilliant chat. Tremendous. Shaibi, Kiran, Murugandan, Chess is more than fun. Anda Burger, Akash Jain, Cheetah, Sunkrit, Dhanay Doshi and Mahish SA. The move is b4. And why is this called minority attack? Because 3 pawns are being attacked by 2 pawns here. And my idea is to play b5, open up the position with this bishop looking in this diagonal and the rook putting pressure here. That is the point. So that's the reason why Anish should do well not to get into such structures. So that's why Anish has gone c6, good move, and b4, bishop e6, and you will see that there's no chance to easily execute the minority attack because the bishop would be hanging here. So we have an interesting position boiling up slowly and steadily. This is an interesting one because, oh, this would be bad. Because after rook c5, b5, this will come. Minority attack will be strong. So what Anish is wanting is that Magnus will take. It's like pehle aap, you know, you take it. No, you take it. So that way, if let's say here black were to make a move like, say, I'm just making a random move, rook c8, then he would want to take, so that if b5, later there can be c5. And okay, this is just an illustrative line. This is hanging and so on, but just wanted to prove the point. So queen b2 has been played and this is the position. Let's quickly go to what is happening with Pragg. Pragg versus Quang Liem. We saw that Pragg provoked c6 and came back. b4, a5, rook b1, ab, and now next move comes in b5. Whoa. Permanently creating a weakness of c6, permanently maybe making the bishop bad on b7, but the bishop can always come out from this side. What black would want is a knight from d7, b6 sitting down on c4. The knee-jerk reaction to b5 and a very famous game that I want to show you later on is Karpov-Spassky, and in that game, white, the knee-jerk reaction to this move b5 is anyone? Does anyone want to try? What is the knee-jerk reaction? It may not work here. That's what we have to look at. But that is generally how a move like b5 is responded with. Did I say something? Vidit's game has started. Yes, e4 is the correct move. That is the suggestion by so many of you. Yadnesh, Kunal, Ujjwal, Yash, Nayan, Atishay, Girl, Pranjal, Nihal and Jitesh. Fantastic guys. It is a typical knee-jerk reaction where you open up with e4, putting pressure here. But after I take, you take. It could be slightly better for white, but black has some very interesting options with c5 here. Because now my bishop is attacking here. And if you were to play e5, maybe cd4 attacking the knight. So it gets really sharp. Let's see what Pragg does. After b5, Pragg is still thinking. He has not chosen his move, but I would be very interested to see if e4 c5 comes up. That would be amazing. Dhanai says, why not knight e2, knight c1, knight b3 and knight c5. Not a bad idea, Dhanai. Excellent concept. But I think it could be slightly slow. Like I go knight e4, you go knight c1. I go, let's say bishop c8, then this might hang, right? Okay, let's play knight h4. You take, I take. And yes, you managed to reach here. But I guess after bishop d6 already, with so many pieces here, it's not that you are going to achieve something huge by putting the knight here. Oh, and Praggnanandhaa plays a quiet move, which is rook fe1. Not a bad idea. He's still looking at e4 here. Vidit has drawn his game. Say people against Sarana, right? No, against Jeong. Oh, they drew. Game 1 has ended in a draw. Okay, we will keep looking at it whenever the next game happens. Please let me know. And in the break, of course, we will see. And also, guys, please do subscribe. All those who are new here, we have reached 899, 500. Just 495 to go. Let's go. Okay, meanwhile, what's happening with Anish Giri? Anish Giri versus Magnus Carlsen. Magnus Carlsen here. After queen b2, queen h5 was played. Bishop f3, bishop g4, takes, rook to c4, queen to e6, rook e1, queen f6. So Anish is clearly on the back foot here because this pawn is a weakness, is a small weakness. But how much of it is a disadvantage? Yes, e4 by Magnus, a good move played by him. And if Anish does not take now d takes e3, he would be in some trouble. The main reason being that the e4 pawn with e2 pawn, which was a backward pawn here, has been made into a strong pawn on e4. So Anish had to take, he takes, queen takes, pawn takes, and rook takes e3. Wow, so we are slowly going to get into a rook endgame. And the white rook is ready to enter on e7. This position is not easy, guys, not simple. Magnus has this small edge. He is Very good at converting them. Will Anish be able to hold his own? That is the question. 3 minutes 52 seconds only for Anish, 12 minutes 11 seconds for Magnus Carlsen. And Pragg also has 6 minutes. Quang Liem has 7 minutes 30 seconds. And Anish goes rook e8. Now guys, this is going to be very interesting if Magnus is going to be able to convert this small little edge in the position into victory or into something tangible. But let's see how Magnus does. Magnus first says, first I will bring my king in. Let's get our king into the position. Where will we see the Olympiad? Well, hopefully on ChessBase India, and that's what I hope, that you guys will be able to follow it with my commentary. I hope that we will also have more commentators joining in. Maybe some I will join in, maybe some more. We will figure out. We'll make the broadcast very interesting. What about the bishop exchange now, says Vinamra Jain. Vinamra, if you take bishop c5, I think both ways, taking with the rook or the pawn, but take here. Rook b4, putting pressure on b7. That could put some pressure on black. So I think taking the bishops is not going to be happening. Let's see after king f1. Oh, he goes rook a d8. So his point is, I want to take here. I want to take here. Let's see if we can guess Magnus's move. Guys, what do you play here? Let's play like Magnus Carlsen, no? What do you play? White to play. Before Magnus plays, chalo, jaldi. What do you do? Yeah, I would have also done that, what you guys are saying. And Magnus also does it. Yes, in the chat. High five, guys. Mahish, Rishi, Kunal, Raj Anand, Shivam, Shaibi, Aditya, RD, Nihal, and Anda Burger. King e2, getting the king 5 has been played. What do you do next now? What is the move? What is Anish's plan? I don't think Anish wants to play f4 because that's a free pawn. Maybe he wants to. Oh, he goes king, rook f4, takes, okay. Bishop c5, pawn takes c5, rook d5, d4, right? Oh, Vidit lost the second game so quickly. Is it blitz? Is it blitz or what? Ah, it's blitz. Oh, that's why. Let me just. Oh, I'm very surprised that it was blitz and just a second, guys. Trying to. Vidit is playing in this, not this tournament, he's playing at the Oslo sorry, not Oslo, Rapid Championship, and that is an event by chess.com. Just to show you guys what happened in his game very quickly. Vidit was playing with the black pieces, Trompovsky on the board. Well, all normal, yeah, stuff. Oof. Okay, bishop back, knight f3, queen c7, check, okay, knight d7, castles, a6, bishop e2, queen c5, queen h6, bishop f8, queen h4, bishop g7, knight e4. Ooh, he got into trouble. He got into trouble. Undeveloped, threatening knight d6, check. f5, knight d6. Can you castle here? But I think castling the king is a little bit too weak, no, here. So he played f5, knight d6, king f8, queen b4, and a blunder. Oh, guys, try to find the winning move for white. Let's see how many of you can spot this winning move here. White to play and win. Very nice move. Very classy move, actually. Yeah, I think many of you have found it. Knight f5, absolutely right. Knight f5 is the move here. Well done, all of you who found it, because if you take the queen, it is a checkmate here on d8. So you can't take the queen, and if you take here, then it is still a checkmate. So beautiful, beautiful move by Shakhriyar to end the game. Excellent chess there. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. And we are here. What has just happened? So in the game, after rook f4, he took rook d5, rook c4, king g7, a4, king f6, d4, h5, king f3, bishop c5, and I think after b takes c5, white is still pressing on, guys. Magnus Carlsen still having that small edge. What about Praggnanandhaa? After the move rook fe1, Liem came in with his rook to a3, and Pragg thought it is the right time to open up the position, which is the correct move here. He's played e4, d takes e4, knight takes e4, knight to d5. Now he's putting pressure on b4 as well as the f4 square along with his two knights. So Pragg could have very naturally played the move knight to c5, but somehow he decided to play knight eg5, knight fg5. Wow, what is happening with this now? What is happening? He has played his knight to g5. This is a typical Praggnanandhaa move, just making the position as complicated as possible. Bishop e7 has been played. You know, I'm really very, I wouldn't say surprised, but I don't even understand why this move is good. Like, let's just look at the natural move, knight f4. Take. It's a blunder. Why? Guys, look at this move now. Can you find it? I don't think many of you will be able to find it. Let's see. White to play. Very tough. Very tough. If you don't find it, don't be too hard on yourself. Very tough. Chess fan, yeah, knight f6, I understand. But then just queen f6. Queen f6, rook e8, right? So gf6. Yeah, gf6. Bishop h7, king g7. No, very tough, very tough. I don't think... let's see how many of you found it. No one. No one. Chat को हराना मुश्किल ही नहीं नामुमकिन था. It was not easy to beat you guys, but I did it. I did it. I have managed to do it. So congratulations. The move here, by the way, is bishop c4. Fantastic move, threatening this pawn. And if you were to take this bishop, then boom, and mate. So the move bishop c4 is basically clearing this diagonal for the queen. You wanted to go knight f6 check, but after gf6, you're taking with the bishop. That's no firepower. So something like this was Praggnanandhaa's idea, yeah? Very smart. Okay, he went bishop e7, and now Pragg goes h4. What is Pragg doing, man? He is playing such chess. Take here. What is his idea? What is his idea? Knight c5. Attacking here. Man, Praggnanandhaa has such creative ideas, like h4, giving up a pawn. Opponent plays bishop c8, and now can Pragg push the... Yeah, h4, h5. What an idea by Pragg, man. What an idea. Oh, he goes knight g3. But why not h5, Pragg? You could have just pushed the pawn. You could have pushed him away. But maybe Pragg wants now to play h5. He's telling Liem, look, Liem, I am threatening h5. Your h7 pawn is under massive pressure. Under huge pressure. This game is getting very tense. Score bata do bhai koi. Aryan Shah score is half Pragg and Liem, and also half for Anish Carlsen. Look at Liem's time, 2 minutes 22 seconds. He goes bishop d7. Also, the pawn on c6 was hanging, so he has defended it. Quang Liem is an excellent defender. He's not letting Pragg break through. Also, Magnus Carlsen, oh, knight to f5, moving in slowly and steadily. Pragg's knights to bishop. This is a position where someone can definitely make a mistake, because Pragg is boiling the position so much. There's so much happening here. It's simmering now. Who's going to blink first? Is it going to be Praggnanandhaa, or is it going to be Quang Liem? Tremendous. And meanwhile, Anish Giri, while he is under pressure here, while Magnus Carlsen is putting pressure here, threatening c6, Anish Giri is ready to move in with his king. Now Magnus takes on a6. He has his a passer. Anish activates his rook. He has 33 seconds. Magnus has 10 minutes on the position. Anish full focused mode. Will Magnus be able to convert this? I really loved Anish's last move, which was rook e7. Because now after rook takes c6, he's ready to go rook e4 check, which is what has happened in the game. And after king c5, he will take on a3, e3, and then rook will go to a3. Anish is going to be able to hold this to a draw. Rook takes e3, rook a3, but the pawn is pushing on. It could well be that black will have to sacrifice a full rook for a pawn, and then black king will go and clean up these pawns, and then one of the pawns will reach the queening square. That's what I think might happen. Meanwhile, after knight f5, Praggnanandhaa's opponent Quang Liem has taken on g5. Can we take with the bishop? Oh, he takes with the bishop. Now, very important to take here. Rook e1. Oh, he plays f6. Now bishop d2 back. Or you take on e8 first. No, but take bishop d2. And if rook e1, you can take rook e1. Just notice here that after rook, instead of f6, if rook takes e1, rook takes e1, you can't really take on b4 here just yet, because you will lose a piece after bishop d8, knight c2, bishop c2. So you can't play that way. f6, bishop d2 has been played. Rook to E1, right? He took, I think, or not. No, he's played knight to F4, NG F4, and now Praggnanandhaa is better. Wow. Why is he better? He plays bishop F1, but a better move was to take knight takes and bishop E4, putting pressure on C6 pawn. But was not easy to spot. And I think what he's done makes a lot of sense. He's pulled his bishop back to F1. His knight is still defended. Guys, the position is tremendously complex. What I like about Praggnanandhaa is that he's able to keep balance with making complicated moves against top players. And many a times, it's these top players who blunder under the pressure, not Pragg. That just goes to show how good he is. Oh, by the way, look at this. Anish's game. Magnus has managed to queen. How did that happen? After check, king c5 takes a6. Here, king b6. d4. He had to push the f pawn. That was an important move because after gf4, king f4, rook f6, king e5, somehow this would have been held onto a draw. But after d4, a7, d3, rook c3. Oh, wow. What a move by Magnus Carlsen. Takes, queen, d2, check, king h6. Yeah, this is over. This is over. Magnus is taking this home. Anish Giri basically blundering and losing out on time. I mean, he had very little time. And now this position cannot be defended. I think if you had your pawns undoubled here, somehow put this pawn, I don't know, somewhere here, there could have been some chances. But now this position, there are absolutely no chances. Let's go to Praggnanandhaa's game back. After bishop f1, knight e6 was played. h5 by Pragg, excellent move. Queen to b6, queen e4, rook a8, and Pragg switches his queen to g4, knight to g5. What is Pragg playing, man? Amazing chess. He wants to give some knight h6 check or stuff. Bishop g5, bishop f5. Has he won a pawn? Can you take this? Queen takes g5, but then rook e1, knight takes b4. Is that hanging? Or Pragg is looking at bishop d3. Pragg is like, apun mate karega. I will checkmate my opponent's king with queen h7. Bishop d3, knight f6. But now, can we push h6? Is that happening? I think we can. But d4 is hanging. Man, this is getting too complex. Or can we go rook e6? So that if you take on d4, I can take on f6. He goes h6. He pushes. Queen d4, good move. Queen takes g5, threatening mate in 1. g6. What else? No? Oh, there is knight g4. With the defending here and attacking here, I think he will find it. He will find knight g4, and then Pragg might have to give up, like exchange the queens, and then the game will end in a kind of equality. Oh, he goes queen g4. That is not good. Pragg should keep the queens on the board. But where? Queen d2? Should we go back? He goes queen c5. Best move in the position. Excellent move. Attacking c6 pawn. Meanwhile, Anish Giri has lost his game to Magnus Carlsen. But now queen f4. Take the pawn. Why don't we take the pawn? It is scary, but you are also attacking the e8 rook here, so the knight cannot move. I think, yeah, he takes it. And Quang Liem is like, why did I blunder the pawn? What did I just do? Pragg, oh, he takes on h6. But now bishop b5. That is a very free, juicy pawn, which creates a b passer. No, he takes, and then takes on b5. Nice. Pragg is pawn up, guys. And he has the rook behind the passed pawn. The bishop can move back. Pawn will start jogging down the chessboard. You can see that Quang Liem isn't happy with his position. He has played his king to h8, but converting this will not be so simple. How does Pragg continue? Maybe queen d6, trying to oh my god, Pragg again finds this move. What is Praggnanandhaa playing, man? He's playing amazing chess. He's finding all the best moves in the position. Now rook c8. Okay, how do we continue, guys? How do we continue? Bishop a6. You just try to kick the rook away. He goes bishop c6. Love Pragg's concentration, guys. Look at him. He's there. He means business. He wants to beat these guys. He wants to win the tournament. Baki kuch nahi. There's nothing else on his mind. He wants to win it. I think queen g6, trying to at least put pressure here. Should be tried. No? Quang Liem has 18 seconds in hand. He's just pinching his lips. He doesn't know what to do. The plan is simple. Push, push, push. Yes, queen g6. These moves are always a little bit irritating. Rook d1. h6, now b5. Pragg. Okay, queen c2. Stopping b6 because the bishop would hang. But now these two are good friends of each other. Pawn supports the bishop. Bishop supports the pawn. They are cool. Let's then try to improve the position. But how? Rook d2, says Shashank Ashwath. Yeah, maybe. He goes queen d3. He's like, trade the queens. I'm winning the endgame. I think he'll keep the queens, of course. He'll go queen c5. He won't trade. If he trades, it's all over. Oh, what? Rook c6. Smart decision. But this endgame cannot be drawn. Cannot be drawn. Okay, Pragg has to show some technique. Now, a very important question is, do you want to exchange the queens and play rook versus knight? Or do you want to keep the queens and play this and launch a mating attack? I think keeping the queens helps because there are always mating threats. There are always attacking chances. This exchange sack is not going to work. Firstly, major threat, rook d8 check. Something has to be done about it. King g8. Check. King f7. Queen g6, yeah? Let's go queen g6. Oh, he goes g3. I like this little move, g3. Because you basically... Oh, and Liem is like, let's do the queen trade. Oh, guys, look at this. Check. King f7, check. Knight cannot take the rook because queen would hang. That is something, no? That is some improvement. But, I mean, guys, this position has to be lost. This has to be lost for black. White can slowly move his king up into the position. But let's see what Pragg does. Pragg first gives a check. King comes up. Yes, Shashank, there are weird drawing chances with one pawn each. But now he's going to... Maybe he should have started with check. Because now the king can come up. If he had started with a check, then the king would have had to go down. Quang Liem thinking whether he should go up or down. He goes king g6. See, when there are two pawns, there are not too many drawing chances. When there is one pawn versus one pawn, it is drawing. And Praggnanandhaa is backing himself. He knows that it is winning. So he did not think about keeping the queens. Keeping the rook as far away so that there are no forks. 96. Pragg has 33 seconds. He has a 10-second increment every move. King f6. Slowly. Okay, let's go slow. I don't want to push the pawns because once I push the pawns, you are able to exchange. So we go king g4, g6 by Quang Liem, rook a6, h5. Okay, king back. Should we go king h4? King h4, yeah. King f5. Still, you don't want to take. I mean, this pawn endgame might be drawn. This is drawn still. Although you're going to get f4, f5, it doesn't help. Because after take, here I can play just h4 and convert this into a rook pawn and put my king on h8, black draws. So let's not hurry in taking the knight, but that is always a theme. When you are ahead in material, you can always liquidate by capturing. f3 has been played by Pragg. King to h3. Some technical difficulties. Some technical difficulties for sure for Praggnanandhaa. King g2. He's like, yes, I agree. I didn't choose a good line here. I did printing, engineering. I need to come out and do some bit of chess. King f2. Knight f5. Now g4, you don't want to play so soon. You want to push, but you want to be sure. And actually g4 would win, because after take g5, the pawn would be very well placed. But in general, human beings don't want to commit. You always want to keep your options open. Will I go f4? Will I go g4? Will I take science? Will I take commerce? Will I take arts? Will I take... there are all these things. You want to keep your options open. So, options open. See? That's just human nature. We don't want to push. But at some point, you have to plunge. You have to make the plunge at the right moment. You can't wait, keep waiting, and then do it at the wrong time. Although in this situation, I don't think there is any wrong time. King f6. Now, if you go king e3, there is knight f5 check, king f4, g5 check. This is not what you want. You will lose the g3 pawn. Check, king goes back. What to do now? f4. No, he goes rook d6. Knight f5, rook a6. Okay. It's not easy. It's not easy to win this. Guys, we need 465 more people to subscribe to reach 900k today. Very tough. Very tough. But I think if Pragg wins today, it should happen. Like, people would be very happy. They will be like, okay, today we are very happy, subscribed. 31 seconds for Pragg, 55 for Liem. Liem is thinking, should I go back with my knight to e7? Should I play my king to g7, keeping my knight on f5? He plays king g7. Now Pragg has to think about g4. He has played here and there for some time. He goes king g2. Oh, and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov has pulled one back by beating Erik Hansen. Meanwhile, Jorden van Foreest and Duda have ended in a draw. Now, knight to d4. The knight has moved up. It is not allowing the king to move from here because f3 is hanging. So you attack the knight. Knight goes back. Knight to f5. Shreyansh Pandey is counting 19 moves without any capture. Shreyansh should also check if there were any pawn moves or not. They are important. And Quang Liem is just not giving up. He's not blundering his piece. He's just making Pragg prove himself for the full point. It's never easy in chess. Knight to d4 attacks the pawn. How does Praggnanandhaa defend? Ramit says, is it a fortress? I don't think. This is not a fortress, but Pragg has to play carefully. He is doing it. He's not spoiling his advantage. He's keeping it. But how to win? And I think the right way to win is to push the king back and go g4, g5. I think that is the right way. Yeah, let's go g4. Let's see. First he moves his rook away, knight d4. Check. King g5. To keep the f5 square for the knight. Liem is a great defender. Mukunta Krishna says, you are right, Mukunta. This is not easy for Pragg to win. But I have a feeling that Pragg will win. It's basically a matter of patience. If you are patient, you should be able to convert. Ooh, look at Pragg. He's got his king here. He's also stopped knight d4 because now the rook controls it. Knight goes back to h6. Now g4 might not be the best because after take and g5, this is the kind of position which you don't want, where the pawns have been blocked and the knight is taking care of the other squares, mainly f5. So the right way here is not g4 but to kind of push him away and then get the king in. $3,000 people watching this. Harsh Patak sending in a super chat. Thank you, Harsh. Check by Praggnanandhaa. Guys, do like the stream. King g5. Ooh, can we go f4? There's king f5. Pragg has only 22 seconds. Generally, when you are winning so much, you can get nervous if you are not able to convert it into a full point. Let's see if... Oh, he gives a check. He makes a decision. He gives a check, king f5. What do you do next? Check maybe. $10. He pushes his rook away. Now the knight has to move. Maybe knight g4. Why not? Aniruddha Kulkarni, thank you for super chat. Knight to g4. King h4. Okay, king coming in. Knight to e3. Oh, he's going to trap this knight or what? Knight should go back. Knight should go back. Knight should not come here to g2 and all. King h3 would trap it soon. Puneet says, always great to hear your commentary, Sagar bhai. Thank you, Puneet. But Puneet, do you think that Magnus is Quang Liem is going to hold this to a draw? I mean, I'm sure Praggnanandhaa knows this is not a draw. But time can often make you do some unrealistic things here. He may offer a draw. It's just 20 seconds left. Check. King f6. And now, guys, f5. This is the move that Pragg has to find. f5, breaking the position, because after gf5, there is king h5. He checks. King comes up. Oh, he doesn't play. He goes king h3. Okay. Pushpajit Cholkar, thank you so much for your super chat. King g2. I know many of you are still thinking how exactly can this position be won. I agree with you. It's not simple. It's pretty complicated. But I think 1 point f5 break has to be taken. Now king h4. Why not? King h4. Knight f5. King g5. Knight g3. Rook f6 or rook a7. He goes rook b6. Oh, Pragg is all ready to now knight f5, go king g5, give up the g3 pawn, but in return pick up this pawn. So knight f7 stops this. I think somewhere f5 has to be played now. Yes, he plays f5. Pragg, after all the time, he adjusts his headset. He's like, I have got the move f5 in. That is an important move, guys. Mangmin Wi-Fi, thank you so much. King takes h5, and now this is winning. This is totally winning. So what you can do, this square is covered, but Zugzwang will come in. Knight cannot move, king g5 comes in, king cannot move, king g6 can come in. So pieces are not able to move. Quang Liem might have to resign here. There's no way in which he can continue. He's thinking, he's built up a solid time. He has 1 minute 13 seconds, but unable to find a move here. Man, Praggnanandhaa, if he wins this, he will move to 1.5 out of 2. He's already beaten Jorden 2.5 out of 3. He's beaten Mamedyarov 2.5 out of 3. And now maybe Quang Liem as well. Who knows? Oh, Quang Liem resigns. He just gave up. And Praggnanandhaa has won the game. Liem said, there's no point in continuing. I don't see a point. Pragg now wins this game. Yes, you're right, Akshay Mohan. If the king moves away somewhere, then rook f6 and picking up this pawn is good enough. So that is the reason why Praggnanandhaa has won. Let's have a look at the standings of this tournament and see where we are. Well, there have been some big results in this game, and oh, the other games have already begun. So let's go and check them out. Anish versus Carlsen has started, but Carlsen has 1 point lead, 1.5 half. Jorden is trailing Duda 1.5 half, and Erik Hansen and Mamedyarov have basically traded blows against each other. But Praggnanandhaa once again leading against Quang Liem. What a game that was. You know, the part which is very, very impressive in this entire game was this part where Praggnanandhaa managed to, find very creative ways. Like here, see, knight g5, h4, knight g3, knight f5, bishop takes here, h5, queen g4. All these moves that Praggnanandhaa found basically kept his advantage going. there could have been better ways to continue, but yeah, take. And once he got the B pawn, it was so strong that you had to sacrifice material for it. But then Praggnanandhaa has given a master class here. Amazing, guys. Let's try to reach 900k. Dhanush says, your stream was my company when I was studying for my MBBS finals, and now you are still my company on my first night duty as a doctor. Thank you for being such a calming presence through this journey. Arey, thank you so much, Dhanush. I hope that you are able to change lives of people with your skill of being a doctor. Anish Giri versus Magnus Carlsen. Anish Giri in a must-win situation. Magnus Carlsen is not going to give Anish an inch. By the way, Magnus is playing this move order against the Benoni. I mean, in the Benoni. E4, knight f6, knight to d2. This is a very Petrosian-esque move. The main point is to overprotect e4 so that in the end, black does not get any counterplay. Knight a6, castles, rook e8. h3, e4, 4 is also possible. So where have we reached in terms of the subscribers? We have reached 590, 595, 600, 659, 600, 400 more people to go. More people to go. Meanwhile, we have Benoni in the position with Magnus Carlsen telling Anish, look, I have prepared Benoni. People might say that Benoni is not good because कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना. So in that sense, Magnus is very confident about his opening prep. He repeats it. I have one question here for all of you. Maybe it's not true. No, yeah. Queen c2 might be possible, but then knight b4 could be irritating. So he might not do that. If Magnus manages to win today in this half sleepy state, that would be something. Okay, Anish goes f3. Knight to c7 and a4. Okay, stopping b5. True that the knight can jump back to a6 and d4. Thinking what to do. What happened to Vidit's tournament? Did he win any games, or basically that loss was the last? 2 games he lost, 1.5 half. Okay. He plays b6. Okay. Knight to c4. bishop a6, bishop g5, bishop takes c4, because this knight is so powerful here attacking this pawn. So then getting rid of this bishop is not a bad idea. A6, and now b5 is not really possible because take, knight takes. A6. Ooh. Okay, how do we continue here with Anish? Anish has got the right kind of position to put Magnus under pressure. Clearly, if he wants to play for a win, he has to do it very carefully. One of the key ideas is to go queen d3, guys, so that I can bring my rook to ae1 and push. Plays king to h1, okay. Anish making all the preparatory moves before he can go start using his central pawn majority with f4 and e5. Just going to stand up for a bit to, feel a little bit, stretch a bit. King h1. What does black do? I mean, for Magnus also to find a move is not easy, right? He wants to play b5 because there are three controls in the position. I think one way, I mean, you want to get rook b8, but then, yeah, rook b8 maybe. Praggnanandhaa and Mamedyarov are not yet back. Oh, sorry, Praggnanandhaa and Le Quang. Oh, Le Quang Liem is back, but Pragg is not back. Let's wait for Pragg to arrive. Oh, Praggnanandhaa, the boss, the little boss. Boss baby is here. Drinks his water. If he beats Le Quang Liem again in this round, he will be able to finish all his matches in 3 games. Wouldn't that be crazy? Oh, I've never done this before. Yeah, I can stand and commentate. Awesome. Guys, is it okay if I stand and commentate? Bishop to h4 has been played. It's the first time in 2 years I have done this, but it seems good. This is not bad. Queen to d7, okay. So actually, h6, bishop h4, queen d7, okay. Rohan Chokshi says you can even sleep and comment it. Until now, I've not mastered it. Sometimes when I'm very sleepy, I'm saying something and then I'm like, oh, did I just say something totally wrong? Then I have no way to know because I'm half asleep. So that's not a good space to be in. Queen d7. What has Praggnanandhaa begun his game with? Okay, very interesting opening. C4, E5. That says center control. G3, knight F6. Bishop G2, bishop C5. Knight C3, C6. Knight F3, E4. Pushing the knight away. Knight H4. D5. Hitting the center. Oof. Interesting. Guys, kitni baar ye opening would have happened in games? Let's have a look at our chess base and mega database, shall we? So, C4, E5, G3, knight F6, knight C3, C6, knight to F3. I think bishop C5, something like this happened. Here, E4, knight H4, D5. And actually, these are some games that have been played. In fact, Anand has played it with black. Grishchuk, Navara, many top players. But has Quang Liem ever played it? No. So maybe Pragg might not be very well prepared. But Anand lost in just 22 moves against Nepo in this opening. Oh, yeah, I remember this game. I remember seeing it. Okay, going back to our main screen. He goes knight H4, D5 castles. Okay. Guys, I have to show you Praggnanandhaa on full screen now. Come on. This is somehow just a picture of amazing concentration. Look at Pragg, no? He's just so focused. He wants to win today. If he wins, getting back the other players on the board. And now let's see what about Magnus and Anish. So after bishop h4, queen d7, queen d3, knight to h5. So he wants to play knight f4, maybe g5, bf5 is in the air. Wow, look at this game position. Who is winning? Duda is just winning. Duda, if he wins, he's through. Jorden is very unhappy. It was a normal Italian position, guys. Ye dekho. What happened? Bishop c4, bishop c5, d3, knight f6, c3, d6, b4, here. Rook e1, knight e7, d4, knight g6, bishop f1, rook e8, queen c2, c6, de. Oh. He missed it. And my question is that after rook e2, he just missed knight f4. That is gone. Position is over, completely lost, which means that Duda will get full points today. How did Jorden, who had a good position here after h3, make a mistake here? Knight g4. It's over. It's totally done. Game is over. Okay, going back to Praggnanandhaa's game after castles, still h6. Nice move by Pragg. He wants to. Okay, guys, my question is, if you go a3, how does black win in the position? Try to think about trapping your opponent's piece. We have a small message from Monish Sharma, who has been the promoter of Indian chess for 4 months. Thank you, Monish, first of all. He says, just amazing this kid is. Only 16 years old and beating all these super GMs on a streak. When I was 16, I was crying over a girl who wasn't even my GF. Okay, Monish, that's okay. It's okay. I think not everyone can be a super GM at chess. What is the move that I was looking for? Yes, g5 is exactly the move. Trapping the knight. The knight has no square here. The knight cannot go back. So that is a big consideration to look at here. So that's the reason why d4 was played. And now Pragg goes bishop to b6. Why don't you play your bishop to e7? It is playable, but then it allows f3 hitting in the center, and after g5 you have so that's the reason why putting the bishop here is important, because after f3 now d takes c4, there is pressure here. So a3 d4 bishop b6 has been played. And bishop e7. Hima Singh says, why not direct g5? Hima, this bishop might take it, no? If you don't play h6. Bishop b6 has been played. $900 is so close. 900k, guys. We are very close to 900k. We are just 350 away. Today, you guys are supporting, so please do consider. Oh, f3. F3. Did Liem play f3? But that's just now. Pragg can seriously think about taking on c4. Pragg can think about taking on c4 and then putting pressure on d4. Let's look at what Pragg is thinking. Pragg has put his hand on the head. He's not very sure about what Liem has just played. And this means that if Pragg wins this game, he is going to win another match in 3 games. It's 2.5 out of 3. He smashed Jorden out of the park at 2.5 out of 3. Then Mamedyarov out of the park in 2.5 out of 3. And now Quang Liem as well. We have Dr. Manthan Kumar Das, member for 2 months, backer of Indian chess. All the best to you and Amruta for Nashik tournament. Array, thank you, Dr. Manthan Kumar Das. Oh, and Pragg did take. So Pragg took, and Liem says, Pragg, my idea was not to take here and give you this pawn. My idea was to play e3. Can Pragg play g5? Can g5, look at this line, g5, trapping the knight. But then comes f takes e4. Then you take the knight. And then comes e5. Or maybe not e5. We are back, we are back, we are back. Sorry, there was a small lag. I changed my internet connection and all is good. But look at Pragg, yeah, so smart. He did not go for g5 move here, because as we discussed, after g5, guys, please refresh if you can't see. If you can hear me, please refresh. g5, fe4, gh4, queen f3. Pragg was not comfortable with this position because although he's a piece up, all his pieces are undeveloped here, and also white has a very strong center with the idea of e5. So therefore Pragg decided to first take on f3, which is a good move, queen f3, and now he castled bishop to d2. Vignesh says, who's been pillar of Indian chess for 15 months. Thank you, Vignesh Subramaniam, for all your support. He says, great job with the CBI Chess Club. Will there be one in Chennai anytime soon? So we are discussing with Phoenix, which is the mall here, and they have many malls across India. So I think if they are happy with what is happening with this chess club, they might be interested to start it at other places. So I'm talking with them, and hopefully we will have it at other places soon. That is the hope. That I would love if that happens. Now queen goes back to f2. So Praggnanandhaa basically has given up the center, but in return has an extra pawn, and also his development is not so bad. Now all the pieces are developed. Oh, he goes bishop e6. He could have also gone knight bd7. We have a super chat by Chandrasekhar Ramalingam who says, hey Sagar, great job on the streams. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Chandrasekhar. That is very, very kind of you. Meanwhile, is Magnus Carlsen slowly taking over? I don't know. But Magnus says, Anish, you are playing a white colored game, which means that all your pieces, if you look carefully, are controlling the white squares. Okay. So then what I will do is, I will start playing the dark colored game. What does that mean? You go knight h5. You go bishop e5. You see? All the pieces of black are on dark colored squares. By the way, why didn't he go b5 here? AB, AB, rook a8, knight b5, rook b8. That would have been nice actually. Good pawn sacrifice, giving black good compensation. But Magnus did not do it. He played knight f4 and then he played b5. Anish took, went back, and I think black is doing really well here. Magnus should have no problems here to hold on. Going back to Praggnanandhaa's game. After bishop e6, knight to f5, he develops knight d7, h3. And look, in such positions, guys, you need to bring all your pieces into the game. So what is the move that comes to your mind first? Let me know. I will try. There are many good moves, but I want to see what is the move that comes to your mind. Try to think. Don't look at the engines. Don't look at anything else. Try to think, what would you do if you were in Pragg's shoes in this game? All those who want to know the score, it is 1.5 in favor of Praggnanandhaa and 1.5 in the favor of Magnus Carlsen. So here's the move that I was looking at, and the move that I was looking at is rook to e8. It's just a very simple move, developing and putting the rook on an open file. And there are moves like bishop c7 mentioned here, which is also okay. I think maybe rook e8, there is knight d6, which you might have been afraid of. But yeah, here the knight is trapped and knight c5 doesn't help because of take, and black is better. So Atanu Sarkar says, Sagar, when is Pragg versus Magnus? I think tomorrow. Atanu, if I'm not mistaken, I'll just check and tell you. I think it is tomorrow. Round 4. Yes, tomorrow is Carlsen versus Praggnanandhaa. So don't miss that. But first we are seeing if Praggnanandhaa is able to beat Quang Liem, which is also not an easy task to do. Quang Liem, one of the strong GMs, especially at shorter time formats. Queen c7 was played by Pragg. His idea was bishop f5, queen f5, queen takes g3. So g4 was played, rook a d8, rook a d1, and the position has reached here. I think rook f e8 looks once again very natural, putting the rook in the center. What is the situation with our subscriber count? We are 899, 666. We are still 334 people away from reaching 900k. So if you haven't subscribed to ChessBase India, please do consider subscribing. Also do like the stream. We have how many likes today on the stream? 1.8k. Let's make it 2000, guys. Yesterday we reached 2000 by the end of the stream. Today we can reach maybe more. Okay, queen takes f5 and it's taken on f5. Now rook f e8. Let's play it. Rook f e8 would be a very nice move. I think mainly why the engines. Oops, sorry, that was not played. Oh, he plays c5. Pragg goes slightly in a different direction. He plays his pawn to c5. Not sure if it's the best move here, but it makes sense. The bishop, you want to hack this structure. Let's see if Quang Liem manages to respond to it well. Magnus Carlsen has managed to slowly and steadily push the white pieces back and should be better here. Magnus has a very powerful bishop, a queenside majority, a rook on the open file, b4 was played. Okay. Knight to d1. Well, if Anish gets the time, he might want to play b3, knight b2, knight c4, but that's too many moves. And also on b2, the bishop is controlling that square for now. So c5, knight b5, queen b8. Meanwhile, Magnus Carlsen has entered Anish's position with rook to a1. I think also, guys, the game between Duda and Jorden has ended. That means Duda has beaten Jorden, and in 3 games, 2.5. So Duda beating Anish yesterday and now beating Jorden. He's slowly coming back into this tournament. Magnus Carlsen, meanwhile, putting so much pressure. It seems like the match is already coming to an end here in 3 games itself. Because, see, ooh, knight b5. What a move by Magnus. If now you take here, then queen takes f3 is going to be very strong. Or first rook d1 maybe. Rook d1 is also very strong. Rook d1, queen f3, bishop g2, queen d1. But if I take here and bishop g2, then I have to go back. So I think first taking would be the right move. But knight b5, so well spotted by Magnus. He wants to bring his knight into the game with via d4 or c3. And for now, the knight is looking dangerous. Cannot be taken. What is up with Praggnanandhaa? After c5, knight b5, queen b8, king h1, a6, knight to a3. Take. Yeah, I'm not sure if now Pragg is better anymore, because the position seems to have opened up also for the bishops. Like bishop takes h6 in the air. Also bishop takes. That pawn on the long diagonal could be a threat. Four minutes 30 seconds for Pragg, 8 minutes 15 seconds for Quang Liem. If Liem manages to win this, he would get an edge in this match. I mean, it would equalize the score, but a comeback is always very nice. Oh, Pragg takes this pawn on d4, but after knight c4, black should be slightly better. Also, bishop b4 doesn't seem to work. Because of knight e5. Because if bishop f8, king f8. Ooh. What did I just do? Oh, I got this. Yeah, I think bishop b4 is a very interesting move. And that is what he's thinking about. He can take knight c4. He's thinking, what about bishop b4? What has Praggnanandhaa got for it? Because bishop b4 unleashes an attack here, and also the attack on the rook. Wow. Meanwhile, after knight b5, in the game of Magnus Carlsen and Anish Giri, rook f1 was played, defending the pawn on f3. Knight to d4, queen d3. Okay. Okay, I also drink water with Praggnanandhaa. Can't play chess as well as Pragg, but can drink water like him. You know, in that resume, there are these talents which are sometimes not very useful. That way. Can drink water well. Okay. Quang Liem. Very. Because Anish is, he plays bishop b4. Now comes the real challenge. What is Pragg going to do? because d4 is hanging, f8 is hanging. Kisko bachaye? We can't save both. 95. Praggnanandhaa finds the move. Oh, Pragg is like, look, Quang Liem. My bishop now defended by the rook. My knight defends the pawn. So I'm going to play b5 next. Oh, can we guys, can we play rook e1? Oh, that's a massive blunder. Because of a very simple move. Guys, can you find it? Why is this a massive mistake? Let's see how many of you have been able to find it. Yes, knight to d3 is the correct move. The right answer has been spotted by Soumya Agarwal, Avanindra Shukla. We have Shubham Ranadive, Umesh, Akshat, Creative, Chris, Ankur, Shaibi, and Balakumar. Well done. Okay, so knight d3 is the problem there. So you can't do it. So right now white is thinking, what should he play? What an interesting position. I mean, Praggnanandhaa always figures out some or the other interesting way to play. Oh, and Magnus Carlsen, after knight d4, queen d3, h5, bishop f5, takes, knight e7, g4, take on g4, queen moves to h6, threatening mate in 1, bishop back, and queen moves in. You can just count the, you can just see the difference in the pieces. Queen is more active than the white queen. Rook is more active than the white rook. Black bishop is more active than the white bishop. Maybe only the knights are comparable, but even knight, I think black's knight can soon come into the game very powerfully. He plays now f6, knight to g6, queen f5. Positions like this, usually Magnus converts it without any difficulties. Let's see how he manages to hold now. I mean, convert it. b3, beautiful move by Quang Liem. Liem says that, look, I understand, Pragg, that you want to play b5 in this position and create a very strong center, structure. So I'm going to hit you with b3, b5. So if you take, he'll take back. What about bishop b2, says Yashwant. Yashwant, bishop b2, that's a nice idea. So very nice. But no, here I don't think b3, bishop b2 will work, because then knight takes c4. But if you play b5 and now bishop b2 might be a real threat. So he takes, and I think Pragg will take back with the pawn. So although this pawn is weak, it is a passed pawn. Rooks have open files, but these pieces cannot be underestimated. They are very strong. Knight to c2, and the knight jumps into d3. Praggnanandhaa playing quick chess without much thought. If knight d4, rook d4, and here's my question to all of you. If queen a5, what is the winning move for black? Come on, I'm going to give you only 10 seconds. Who are the people who are able to find this? Let's see. Yep, you guys once again. Very good job by Shaibi, Paras, Aditya, Devinanand, Gautam, Ashik, Shaunak, Yuvraj, Narendra. So the move here is knight f2 check. Takes. And black is almost like 1 here. Well, rook b1 has been played. What happened? Just here. Rook b1, queen d8 has been played on the board. So Magnus has managed to stop these pawns and is now winning the game. I think Anish might resign very soon. He has only 17 seconds left. He pushes his pawn, but after b2, h5, Anish knows that he's lost the game. Magnus making sure all of his final calculations are accurate before making his move, but oh, I have not switched the screen. Sorry, guys. Anish has 39 seconds. Sorry, guys. Sorry. And Anish resigns the game there. Magnus Carlsen has beaten Anish, takes the sip of water from his empty bottle, but job done in 3 games for Magnus. What a win for him, playing the Benoni, outplaying Anish Giri. Now it's all up to Praggnanandhaa and Quang Liem. What is happening here? Who is better? Quang Liem seems to have found an advantage. Queen d8, rook b7. Now rook d6 had to be played, but Praggnanandhaa decided to exchange the rooks. But it's not so clear. Like after I take, and take, the position is still very complicated because this queening square of the c pawn is in black's control. So Quang Liem still thinking about what he should be doing. He's down to 2 minutes 28 seconds. Praggnanandhaa has 1 minute 48 seconds. What will Quang Liem do? It's his final chance in this match to come back. If he makes any errors, he would be in trouble. But for now, yes, he takes. And now Pragg takes with the queen. A very good move is bishop e4, but it's a difficult move to spot. The main point of bishop e4 is that the bishop keeps an eye on the knight, and then you can't do c3, c2, c1 easily. But if Quang Liem decides to exchange the queens, black will be fine. But he goes, instead of that, he plays queen to a5, which is also not the best move. And Praggnanandhaa with the next move, queen d6, has once again equalized in the position. This is very tough position to assess because on one hand, white has an extra exchange, but on the other hand, the knight on d3 is a monster which can really push the pawn to the queening square. Also, the knight and the queen Like knights and the queen can launch a deadly attack against the white king. So I think there is good chances for any kind of result in this position, not just black winning or white winning. It can happen anyway. Meanwhile, guys, what's the status update on reaching 900k? Are we any close? Oh, we are moving close. 300 more subscribers needed. Let's see. Is it easy? Is it tough? First, let's focus on the game, because we are moving to the final few seconds, few minutes. Knight to e5 by Praggnanandhaa. Good move. If rook to d1, now you need to put your knight back. Or else, you can go queen b6, stopping. So he goes knight d3. Now threatening knight f2, discovered. Quang Liem has. Will Pragg be okay with a draw? I guess so. A draw should be fine for him. That would make the score 2-1 with Praggnanandhaa having the white pieces. So that should be a good idea. Goes knight e5 back. Are the players going to repeat? Will Quang Liem agree to a draw, or does he want to fight and beat Praggnanandhaa? It's going to be an important moment in the game. Let's see how it goes. Oh, he goes rook b1. He's like, no draw. I want to fight on. Now Pragg needs to bring his knight to d7. He goes king g8. He's running away. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. This bishop has not much to do, It is defending the king, but on the light square diagonal, there's nothing much happening. Whoa, we've crossed 899, 700. Queen to b4. This time, maybe Praggnanandhaa is not keen on exchanging the queens, because with knight d3 and pawn moving forward, it would have been much better. Suppose queen d3. Queen to d3, played by Pragg. He doesn't want to exchange the queens. He wants to keep the queens on the board. Queen e1 back. 35 seconds for Praggnanandhaa. What is he going to play next? Can he play something like knight f d7, keeping control? Because if you move the knight away somewhere, there might be a check. And he's going d4. Queen g1, queen g1. Yep. That is interesting. By the way, guys, all those who are watching this, the score is 1.5 in the favor of Praggnanandhaa. If he wins this game, he wins the match. Rook f1. Somehow, it seems like white pieces are coordinating with each other. Or are they? कदर जी कह रहे हिंदी में बोलोगे तो ज्यादा अच्छा होगा ब्रो, इंडिया में हम इंग्लिश के लिए अदर चैनल्स भी है। अरे दोस्तों, तो हिंदी में थोड़ी देर बात करते हैं, पर फिर बहुत लोग इंग्लिश के लिए भी सुन रहे हैं, तो हाउ कैन वी? थोड़ी देर बाद, ये गेम के बाद हिंदी में बात करेंगे। लेट्स राइट नाउ फोकस। एंड हिंदी चेस बेस इंडिया, निखिलेश माइट ऑल्सो बी कॉमेंटेटिंग। Hema Singh says, I see the mistake coming from Pragg. That's the thing about Praggnanandhaa. He's able to keep the game going without mistakes for quite a long time. So Queen F2. Queen C3 is not exchanging, is not trading. Let's see who goes wrong first. Who makes the first error? Queen A7. Okay, good move. Queen can... Knight to D3, and this time Queen takes A6. Liem can now pick up the pawn. Perhaps a better idea was A5, but he goes Knight D3. Pragg actually deciding that let's not care for the A6 pawn. Let's try to think of some... Goes Queen D4. Praggnanandhaa fully focused there. Quang Liem now down to 20 seconds. He's afraid that this pawn will start rolling down the board. Okay, A4. He's given a check. And now King H2 is important. Of course, you can't go here and lose a pawn. So King H2. Okay. Manish Chaudhary says, at this level, do you think time matters? A lot, Manish. Time is going to be a crucial factor. It's going to be decisive as to who keeps his control. Oh, Pragg blunders. Pragg blunders big time, because after check, King H7. Yeah, he finds it. And with Queen F4, he's offered a trade, and Praggnanandhaa is like, oh, I didn't see that one coming. And with this, Praggnanandhaa might have just lost his first game of the tournament. Not a match, just a game. He has won all the games or drawn. 23. But now just push the A5 pawn. What? Did he play rook e1? Did he let Pragg come back in the game? Because A5 was winning move. Now Praggnanandhaa pushes the pawn to C3. It is no longer simple. Maybe bishop E4 is kind of forced. That's the only move. Yes, Pragg has pushed the pawn. Rook E7. Oof. Counter mistake. What is Pragg? Oh my god. C2. Pragg has got a chance. Oh, he's winning. Praggnanandhaa is winning with 33 by Praggnanandhaa. Queen D2. He wants to mate here. What sort of player is this guy? He's able to just create this black magic with his knights. Now, Liem has basically no threats. Check here. King moves away. Yeah, check. King goes to H7. A5. But you're too slow. I can go rook, queen, rook took C1, Queen D2, attacking the rook and a mate here. With 45 seconds, can Praggnanandhaa find the win? There may be many ways. Queen D2 also seems absolutely fine to win. And Queen D2 has another threat, Knight G4 and picking up the queen. How the tables have turned. My God. The tables have turned massively. Rook C2. Okay, Knight G4. Knight G4. Guys, Knight G4. If pawn takes, then queen takes, queen check. Knight g4, if king h3, knight h5, Praggnanandhaa is winning. Liem is unhappy with this. The game is over. The match is over. Praggnanandhaa shaking his head. He knows he's lucky. He has won this game. Liem has lost it. And Praggnanandhaa not only wins the game, he also wins the match 2.5 out of 3, beating the very strong Vietnamese Grandmaster Quang Liem. With this, Praggnanandhaa not only has beaten Jorden with 2.5 out of 3, Mamedyarov out of 2.5 out of 3, and now also Quang Liem setting up an epic clash against the world champion tomorrow. What a player. Pragg OP. Guys, Pragg OP in the chat. How did the tables turn? That was just tremendous. Because after queen d3, this was winning position. a5, c3, a6, c2. This is controlled. And a7 is way faster. And this was the way in which white could have won. But Liem went for a wrong plan. Instead of pushing his a pawn, he decided to get his rook into the game. It was too slow. Now Pragg is at least equal. After knight e3, check, king h7. It's over. a5, queen d2 takes, and knight eg4. That was a great move. If pawn takes knight, you pick up the queen, and if king g3, knight h5 is what I was thinking. Dosto, do like the stream and also do consider subscribing. Praggnanandhaa has won it and we are very close to 900k. Yeah, let's try to sleep now because I think what are the results? Let's have a look at the standings. I mean the results of today. So the results of today are the following. Magnus Carlsen beats Anish 2.5. Duda beats Van Foreest 2.5. Praggnanandhaa beats Liem 2.5. And Eric Hansen and Mamedyarov 1.5 each, playing the last game. So that's how the standings are. No, last game will not happen. It's over. It's done and dusted. Guys, how are you feeling? What do you think about Praggnanandhaa? I feel that he's able to maintain tension against these top players in a very high class manner, which not many players are able to. Not many top players. Yes. Proud says Neend ud gayi, says Sanket. Yeah, tomorrow will be against Magnus Carlsen. Let's see how he does. If Praggnanandhaa actually wins this tournament, that will be massive. Is it too early to say Pragg as the next Vishy Anand? Says Shyam. Maybe. Still needs to, of course, prove himself. But clearly we are seeing his amazing nerves, his ability to make comebacks, his fighting spirit. He doesn't not give up a lot of things. Let's see tomorrow how Pragg does against Magnus. But guys, thank you all for watching. Please do like the stream before leaving. And if you haven't subscribed to ChessBase India, please subscribe. Tomorrow will be the day when maybe Pragg beats Magnus and we reach 900k. Naveen Kumar says, Pragg OP, great games, great form building up for the Olympiad. True. Absolutely right. These are great training tournaments. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it a night before I tomorrow at 8:45 we'll have this pre-game show with Tanya, and then at 9:30 the games will begin. So before I just doze off on the chair, let me say good night to all of you, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.